That's better than the other
Way
one.
better.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to work on my mic control a little bit, but it should be okay.
Yeah. You better work on that mic control.
Work on this.
Got to work on that mic control, yo. We're live.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey, it's Mike here, and today I'm responding to 5 things that destroy your testosterone by Dr. Axe per request from one of you guys. And I just think it's funny, like a testosterone video has to be by Dr. Axe, like some super manly sounding person, like Mr. Hammer and Dr. Axe get together to make people feel good about manliness. Anyway, positive things to be said first. He has a lot of points that are pretty basic in terms of exercise and sleep. I totally agree with those. This is like a 40-minute long video, and I'm pretty sure it was sent to me to respond to the diet. I can do that.
So I want to share with you the ideal diet in order to boost testosterone levels.
And he says he's using research. We're going to see what claims have research and what claims don't. Of course, looking at a bunch of research ourselves.
You want to take adrenals, kidneys, testes, especially for men that want to build testosterone. So you want to take organ meats, especially testes.
So we'll mostly keep it to diet, but he also has some other interesting claims in terms of supplements as well as attitude. Some research there I think is really interesting to respond to. So let's just get into it. Who is Dr. Josh Axe? Well, he's somebody that I've seen in the low carb community for years. He has a book on keto stuff, and generally, I'm not agreeing with claims around that he makes.
To be fair, his site does have Mediterranean stuff on there as well. Not sure if it's just in more recent years, but that's new to me. And he has about 2.3 million subscribers on YouTube.
And he's a doctor of natural medicine as well as a chiropractor and a nutritionist. So that's sort of where he's coming from. But where's he coming from in terms of motivations to raise testosterone? Well, he covers some of the basic concerns.
On today's episode, I'm going to be going through research that shows how testosterone in men have been on a consistent decline over the past several decades. What this means for our future as a species and what you can do to naturally boost your testosterone.
Talks about things associated with lower testosterone, like lower muscle mass, lower libido / sex drive, etc. But then he nails it home. Final nail in the coffin with this definitely scary statistic.
Men with low testosterone levels had an 88% increase in a risk of death compared with those who had normal levels. Did you hear that?
And that first chunk of the video is largely about, getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise, but then we hit that diet section. Here he is.
The ideal diet in order to boost testosterone levels. And it's going to be this. It's going to be high in protein and moderate in fat and carbs. Okay, you want to make sure those carbs don't get too high. That will absolutely tank your testosterone levels.
Okay, we'll talk about carbs and fat and some
Carbs are the
studies
devil.
on
By
that
what
in a second.
mechanism?
But how much protein is he talking about here?
Most men, you should be aiming towards at least your body weight in protein. So for instance, for myself, if I weigh 170 pounds or so,
John Bob, mute your
I
mic.
want to be trying to get about 170 grams of protein a day. I mean, that's really ideal. 40 grams of protein 4 times a day.
Yes, that's an absurd amount of protein. It's to the point where your own protein farts might put you into a toxic state that might lower your testosterone. But what form is he suggesting you get this protein in? Well, we can skip ahead a little bit. And well, some of you probably already guessed it.
And then you want to eat organ meats and eat red meat. So organ meats like liver are going to be good. Red meat. Now, chicken and eggs are also fantastic, and wild caught fish, but you really want to focus on red meat.
Yes, red meat and organ meats, especially, he says, focus on red meat.
The
And
stuff
just
that
to
cuts your blood
blow
circulation.
this idea out of the water, we can look at people that eat no red meat, and they also dodge other animal products like eggs, etc. They're called vegans, and from this study, they had higher total testosterone and equivalent free testosterone. So that's a point against his idea. Is there any other evidence that slamming down meat is going to raise your testosterone? Well, we have this study in young men, and it found no statistically significant difference between low versus high meat consumption and testosterone. In fact, just in terms of trends, the highest total testosterone was in the lowest meat consumption quarter. And the study even looked at people that ate versus didn't eat organ meats, amazingly, just coincidentally. And it turns out, again, no statistically significant difference, but the trend is slightly worse for people that are eating organ meats, like 4% lower total testosterone. And the main statistically significant finding of that study was that higher processed meat from this chart was associated with worse sperm quality. Anyway, we can move on to another study. What happens if people just replace meat with something like the ultimate soy boy beta food, tofu? Well, this was a crossover trial, so the same group of people ate different things. How did their testosterone change from meat versus tofu? Oh, well, guess what? It didn't. There was no change.
Fun anecdote, vegan bodybuilder Brian Turner ate 1 pound of soy per day over several weeks, and his testosterone raised from 596 to 698.
But just to slam his protein idea down the drain, we have this meta-analysis and review that looked at 27 different trials, and it concluded that high protein, low carb diets greatly decreased resting and post-exercise total testosterone. Ouch. And this isn't new stuff. We've seen this in studies back to the 80s, probably even before. Well, it wasn't a big study. This study found that testosterone concentrations were consistently higher after 10 days on a higher carbohydrate diet than during a high protein diet.
Okay, you want to make sure those carbs don't get too high. That will absolutely tank your testosterone levels.
And so what might
really
be happening
know.
here? Well, this study itself might have one of the answers, and that could be cortisol. They say that cortisol concentrations were consistently lower during the higher carbohydrate diet, so less stress hormone, than during the high protein diet, which had more stress, I guess. It might be the case that cortisol has a testosterone lowering effect. Looking to this other study, it is the case that cortisol into the circulation at rest will result in reduced blood testosterone levels. But remember, he said getting your carbs too high will tank your testosterone levels. It doesn't appear to be the result from these studies. Wait, so do carbs equal manliness? I don't think it's that simple. He did mention also that you should eat fat. And it seems to me, looking through the research, that it has to do with balance here. If you're not getting enough of any of these things, whether it's fat or carbs or really calories in general, perhaps most importantly, then you're clock your testosterone down a little bit.
And this meta-analysis found that in trials on calorie restriction for normal weight people, more often than not, it lowered testosterone, but in obese people, restriction raised testosterone.
And I do just have to once again echo that these high protein, lower carb diets are associated from this meta-analysis with increased all-cause mortality. And just from an anecdotal perspective, it seems to be all these guys like Joe Rogan who are representing ButcherBox and slamming down protein that end up going on the hormone replacement therapy. That's an anecdote, but science is sort of supporting it here. Previously, the carnivore MD
Joe can't wake up without
said that on his ketogenic diet, his testosterone started going down and down.
My testosterone's kind of going down. Right now, it's around 700 or 800. I've included carbohydrates in my diet 2.5 years, but at that point, it was going 450, 500, significantly lower.
And other reasons, he quit his carnivore diet. And also in my no longer carnivore videos,
the guy who invented it
I
quit.
spotlighted another guy whose testosterone crashed on that type of diet. Again, it's based around literally the type of food that he's telling you to eat, red meat.
And my testosterone, it took a nosedive. It went from 1,004 nanogram each deciliter by 50s. And my cortisol levels were off the roof.
To be fair, he's not telling you to go on a carnivore diet. We'll get into his other recommendations in a second. But how much does this fat versus carbs really matter? Well, we do have a trial here. It's a 3-month randomized trial where you had people either go on a higher carb or lower carb diet, neither to super extreme levels, but with both groups getting enough calories. And that's where I think the difference here is and why they didn't see a drop or any major disparity. However, it is worth mentioning that while they weren't statistically significantly different, the higher carb group actually saw about a 12% increase in testosterone, despite eating about 300 less calories, but larger study needed. Anyway, here he is mentioning that you can actually eat some carbs. It's so refreshing nowadays.
The carbs you consume, you want those to be typically very nutrient dense and
Berries.
lower glycemic ideally. So the ideal carbs would be for men that want to build testosterone. It's going to be berries, such as blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. It's also going to be sweet potato. It's going to be rice, maybe a little bit of oatmeal, and potentially something like potatoes.
However, even though these are foods that I support the consumption of, he still doesn't cite research saying, yes, this is connected to testosterone. No, and so that's just another claim he's making, not being backed up by science. I wish more people would just cite stuff when they make a claim.
But to back him up a bit on berries and other high antioxidant foods from this study, various plant compounds may be effective in delaying age-related testosterone decline through the protection of testicular cells. And it's a stretch, but cyanidin present in blueberries improved expression of key testosterone-making proteins in mice blasted with endocrine disrupting heavy metal cadmium. Sorry, mice, but more research definitely needed.
Anyway, he has some other supplements he does mention.
And you also want to be getting liver. You want to take adrenals, kidneys, testes, especially.
Why?
For men that want to build
Especially
build
testes?
testosterone. So you want to take organ meats, especially testes.
So this is
Eat
another one of these Liver
testicles
King guys.
to improve testosterone. This is just absolute pseudoscience.
And even this beef product seller mentions that testicles don't store testosterone. An entire kilogram of raw beef testicles contains less than 1% of how much an adult man produces in a day, and 98% of that is digested, so it's not happening.
Yeah.
Pseudoscience.
The next one here is fenugreek. Fenugreek increases testosterone levels by up to 46% in men, according to a clinical study.
Correct?
Yeah, fenugreek is one that I have been aware of for a while, and from this meta-analysis of just 4 trials, we do see that fenugreek extract supplementation increases testosterone levels in men, which is really interesting. And it is worth mentioning, though, getting your testosterone higher could increase male pattern baldness. It could also, increase benign prostate hyperplasia.
Robert Anthony Wasman, I had a little discussion with him this week about he responded to my to a meme about high cholesterol and real men who eat meat, and he was ranting and raving about how he eats nothing but fat and protein and how his blood work is perfect, yet he couldn't show me his blood work. And then he started ranting about what's it called? The stuff in the stuff that
Oxalates?
no. Braxton, you were there. You remember. What's the stuff all these people are taking that makes your skin better?
Was it
Collagen.
Okay.
So he's all, I did this and this helped me do this, and then I started taking collagen and it fixed my back in like 2 weeks. And it was just like, dude, like collagen is a scam. It's a well-known scam. Collagen is protein. Protein gets absorbed into your body as protein, not as collagen. And of course, the dude just disappears after I sent him a couple studies. He doesn't want to talk about his credibility for whether or not his all meat and all fat and protein diet is legit. But it's the same kind of thing with this testosterone stuff. John Bob, you there? I guess John Bob's not here. There's John Bob.
I am here. Sorry about that.
All right.
I was just throwing some
telling
clothes
people,
in
so instead of telling people that vegans have bigger dicks, you tell them that we have more testosterone, and there's all this science to back it up.
But vegans do have bigger dicks because your genitalia size is dependent on blood flow, and they consume saturated fats and cholesterol, clogging their arteries. They shrink their own genitals. It's science.
But it maximizes someone's penis size, that their penis size potential. It doesn't necessarily make it so that the entire vegan population would have bigger than meat eaters.
Yeah.
It's a little more nuanced than that, and it's an easy one.
And it's not really science.
Meat eaters to just sort of pick apart, because it's I see what you're saying. Technically, you could, a better way of putting it would be you speaking directly to the person, you would have a bigger penis if you went vegan. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly. That's what I say. I say it's weird that they're trying to shrink their own genitalia and not enjoy sex. Do you know that vegans actually have the highest rates of sexual satisfaction? Could you imagine not wanting to enjoy sex? You think bacon's more important than, having fun time with your significant other? Fucked up.
Well, if anything, caffeine takes quite a bit away also. So people eating a shitty diet and on top of that drinking coffee all day, they're definitely sacrificing a bit of that, I'm sure.
Oh, I didn't know caffeine had those effects. I'm not surprised
Yeah.
though. I mean,
It's a stimulant. It's a stimulant. Any stimulant will numb anything you feel. And people drink it all day. They're overdosing on it. And then they're wondering why they're asexual and they're blaming it on soy products and sugar and stuff like this. But anyway, I'm going to get back to the video.
all right.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Which is, you know, your prostate growing from dihydrotestosterone over time. Both of those are from that byproduct. Anyway, he also mentioned zinc. And I will say from the research, it does appear that if you are low in zinc, that taking it can increase testosterone. And even in this study in men with hypogonadism, which is lower testosterone, it did help to take zinc. So I would say there's definitely legitimacy to that. But then we have to ask, what other things can actually be done here? What are the main things that are going on? And in men with hypergonadism, we see sort of a profile of comorbidities, whether we're talking about obesity, especially mid-waist circumference being larger, as well as type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And so anything you can do to reverse those, also hypertension, which is high blood pressure, you're doing better. And that could be a connection for the vegan rates being higher of total testosterone, because from studies like this one, they have way lower high blood pressure, way lower diabetes risk. And of course, we know about the trials straight up, improving the state of people with severe heart disease, like the Esselstyn trial. And of course, the Broad study, a randomized control trial that didn't add exercise or restrict calories, which they claim to be the largest weight loss seen at 6 and 12 months for that type of trial. So yeah. But a final study he added, which I think is just a great topic, is the attitude here. And in particular, a study showing a sort of simulated indoor rowing race where they manipulate who the actual winner is, and then they put it up on the screen. They saw an increase in testosterone in the alleged winners and a decrease in those who were told that they lost, which I think is hilarious because it's not even based in reality of who won.
But overall, the men that thought they were winners had testosterone levels that were 14.46 higher than their deflated opponents.
Another hilarious finding is that the people who won had a higher likeliness of approaching women in hypothetical social situations. It's I'm a winner, let's go score. However, I would love to see this repeated, because you might have heard of that study where if you assume a sort of dominant position, your testosterone increases.
It turns out a much larger attempt to replicate that study found no such testosterone increase.
So any of these studies I want to see duplicated, replicated, but either way, this is likely a transient effect that wouldn't really have much to do with your general testosterone level. I don't think this is lasting for a week. And that's the testosterone you should really be concerned about when you're talking about a risk of mortality like you did in the beginning. I'll also say if winning or losing something really has an effect on your self-perception and your hormones, we might want to do some deeper reflection, deeper work, and try to become more secure in ourselves. But he goes and makes a little bit of a stretch from this research here. He is.
Now, let's say you're married, okay, and you're a woman watching this and you've got a husband. If you say things to deflate his self-esteem and make him feel like he's not a winner, that he's not a provider, that he's not a real man, that he's not doing things to provide for the family, you destroy his testosterone and literally take years off of his life, and creating disease in his body.
Okay, so I agree. Partnership could be bad for your health, but stretching from a simulated rowing thing to never injure the masculinity of your male partner because he might die earlier is a bit of a stretch there, Mr. Axe. This guy should partner with Axe body spray and do a testosterone campaign. I feel like it would do really well. Anyway, in the end, his main dietary recommendation was essentially to slam animal protein in the form of red meat, a class 2 carcinogen, as well as organ meats, despite there being no scientific basis for this. If anything, a pretty strong scientific basis to not do this, with that meta-analysis of 27 trials showing that when people are given a high protein diet, their testosterone lowers. That's the key here. But again, he had some good main claims in terms of sleep and exercise that we didn't even bother with. So it's hard for me to just criticize him and not say he did that well. But I just can't help but laugh about this whole idea of men can never be challenged at all because they might die of a low testosterone. I'm a winner, big boy winner with my high man juice levels. It's just kind of funny. And I think if you're in a cycle of insecurity and constantly trying to be more manly, like that's probably going to harm you in its own way anyway. But yeah, balancing macronutrients, having a balanced lifestyle, getting out of obesity, etc. That's what gets rid of something like hypogonadism if you're talking about just dietary lifestyle interventions, at least. And yeah, please don't eat like 170 to 200 grams of red meat and other animal protein per day. Not only is it horrible for the environment in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, land use, water use, which I have several videos on, bad for these animals that obviously want to live. Like, please just don't. I know asking people doesn't work, but anyway, let me know down below what you thought about this video. And of course, as usual, feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, I guess What on Earth is Happening podcast had its last show last week.
Aw.
And I don't blame Mark in the least bit for being upset about the lack of response from his work over the past, what did he say, 17 years? That's a long time to try and wake people up and to have the closest group you have around you just kind of being for the most part mediocre.
They're not going all the way.
Not going all the way, that's for sure. And then to see the excuses that they give, I would just be it would be pretty frustrating, to say the least. So I don't blame him. And his last episode was a pretty good episode. It was really good. His last 5 episodes were great. To see how people reacted in the comments and to see how people react, and just that they hear the things they say, it's just shocking, really. It's shocking.
Yeah, watching the live chat is really, it's kind of depressing when you consider that it's like 1% of his entire audience. It's maybe understanding what he's saying.
Yeah.
At least enough. Very disheartening.
No, I understand his anger. I understand. Just all you have to do is watch the live chat since he's left it up these past few episodes, and you'll see what he's talking about as far as let's say trash in the movement. Is that too edgy? But yeah, it is what it is.
Like people who wait for a show to pop up and go up there and just talk shit nonstop. And it's like when you understand Mark's work, if you're on the level of like being able to hear what he's saying and understand and apply it in your life, these people that are denying, and just the things that they're saying, it's been pretty funny. It's been shocking. And last week was the last show. And we're gonna watch it.
That's all you care about, and that's all your shit base cares about. Because as soon as they don't like what they don't want to fucking hear about themselves, they go running. Let's go run to my church or to my new age bullshit or to my fucking person who's going to tell me what I want to hear. It's all external to myself. Fuck out of here. We have to heal the gender divide between men and women and create the true alchemical wedding between the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. The sacred feminine has to be born and support the sacred. The sacred feminine is true care, agape love, worldwide love, love of truth, worldwide love of what is right and true and good, and learn natural law and learn the non-aggression principle. And then you have to wed that to the sacred masculine energy of the principle of self-defense, saying no to evil, having the courage to speak out, having the courage to teach others. Become a petty tyrant. Don't become a real tyrant. Become a petty tyrant. Not all forms of tyranny are equal. Yes, political tyranny is what we don't want. That's slavery. Petty tyranny is what we do want. Petty tyranny means you get on somebody's ass for the work they're not doing, as long as you've done it yourself first. Don't throw stones when you live in a glass house. If you haven't done the internal shadow work, then
So he
don't get on
supports some of
somebody
our
else's
work.
ass for having doing it because you haven't done it. I don't do that. I get on people's ass when I have done the shadow work. I have done the internal work. You guys thinking just because I can still get angry, I haven't done the internal work. Fuck you. That means you don't understand what real spirituality is, moron loser. Real spirituality does not mean you've purged anger. I have sacred anger. I have the true sacred masculine dynamic of true righteous indignation, especially
We're echoing just a little.
better, and it should
Yeah, it's John Bob again.
far more than they did because they're lazy and they sat still and they
What'd
stayed in
I do?
place and stupid and they didn't push themselves.
Their mic's
and they
always
didn't
loud.
challenge themselves, and they didn't push and challenge anybody else.
I was muted at the time.
People want in this life is money and comfort, money and comfort, money and comfort. You don't want to do what's challenging. You don't want to do what's fucking uncomfortable. You don't want to do what's hard. You want to take it easy. You want to do really easy shit. You want to not challenge yourself. You don't want to push yourself. You don't want to move forward. You want to stay in your fucking bullshit comfort zone. And that's what makes you a bad person. That's the dynamic that actually makes you a bad person. And you're not listening. You're trying to insist that I am the one who's incorrect. I'm not correct about that dynamic, losers. You're the one who's incorrect about that dynamic. I have been painfully telling you the truth about that dynamic because I don't care about money. I only care about what's spiritually the truth. You can't hear it because you're stuck in your bullshit way of fucking thinking, your bullshit religion, your bullshit worldview, your bullshit state of artificially induced consciousness that's holding you back from real freedom and higher levels of consciousness. And it's easier to stay there because it's comfortable. It doesn't require anything of you. It's not challenging. You just need to fucking say that you're going to abdicate your responsibility and do nothing. It's simple. It's fucking easy. Evil is easy to become. It just means I'm not going to do any fucking work. That's all fucking evil is. Evil's very easy to succumb to. It's called do nothing and become a fucking loser, fucking immoral fucking slob. That's all you got to do to go evil. Good requires tremendous work and challenge of yourself. No, you guys don't want that. That's why you like the early pantheon. I prefer the early patio, don't you guys? The early patio never talked in this voice and yelled at me and told me that I was the problem. The early patio just talked about Satanism and mind control. And I could just do this and say, look at all this shit that's being done to me to make me as retarded as I am. Yeah, that's why you like the early patio, you fucking retarded losers. It's real easy to point fingers outside yourself.
It was my friend.
Telling you to truly develop and change inside of yourself, that's challenging fucking hard work. That's part of the great work. And you guys don't want any fucking part of that. That's why the world's going to remain on lockdown for the foreseeable future. For your lifetime, for the lifetime of your children, for the lifetime of your grandchildren, for the lifetime of your great-grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren. And on and on and on and on it goes. All because you didn't want to look in a fucking mirror and tell yourself, I don't like what I see and it has to change. And my thinking has to change. No, you don't want to do that. You're just fucking scumbags who want to stay exactly how you are and lie to yourself straight up your own ass and tell yourselves you're just fine when you're scumbag, immoral, fucking garbage trash. That's what you guys want to do. That's why the past 17 years have amounted to shit. You know? 17 years of work, not a fucking scrap to show for it. Because, yeah, I'm on this fucking lockdown planet dealing with fucking pure sewage, and they're calling it the prima materia. Never had a fucking lick of prima materia here. You had nothing but pure fucking sewage. You gotta give somebody that has a shot from the starting point to make it. You don't put a fucking turtle at the beginning of the fucking horse race with the best bred racing horses and say, go knock them fucking dead. The turtle's never going to become a fucking racing horse. Sorry. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, but more, they can move kind of fast. They're not going to outrace a racing horse. Jerk off. You know, this is what people do. I've seen footage of turtles going down ramps really fast, Mark. You haven't seen that meme on social media? Yeah, I've seen the meme on social media. I don't care how fucking fast a turtle goes down a fucking ramp. It ain't out racing a racing horse, jerk off. See, that's what people do. I'll look for the most extreme exception to the rule, and then I'll go say, Mark, didn't you see this? This was a meme last week on Fartbook. It's a turtle, and he sees something and he goes down the ramp really fast. Maybe he can outrace that racing horse. No, he can't, jerk off. You're a moron. See? Stop bringing up the extreme exception to the rule and fucking listen. That's the problem, is that's what the ego does. The ego goes, oh, it can't be absolute. We have to look for some alternative to this. The absolute frightens me to fucking death. It makes me shit my pants. It makes me shit my diaper every time. And as soon as someone says the absolute, I just shit my diaper immediately. Absolute. There's another load dropped in the diaper every fucking second. You can't say the word absolute and not have a big shitload in my fucking baby diaper. That's the most horrifying, frightening fucking thing of all time. You want to find the exception to the absolute. That's what the ego races to do. Races every time. It always works this way. No, we have to find an exception. Can't be, can't be, can't be, can't be. That's what the ego is. I can't hear. It must be this way. That's law. No, I have to go and seek for. We're going to find the thing that happened once 22 quadrillion years ago in a distant corner of the universe, and it was some glitch in the matrix that only happened like because it was very early on in the formation of cosmic law, and it happened like that, so it's going to magically happen everywhere like that in the next second. I love the exception to the rule because that my ego needs it. You know? That's what all you guys are like. There's got to be an exception to the law, Mark. It can't be absolute. Your mother should have considered the exception to the absolute before she shat you out. Then maybe we want to have another fucking retard in the world.
Oh, great. There goes my channel.
No, he's already dropped the R.
Prepare to have the world permanently in a complete locked prison state. Because it's already there now, and it ain't going anywhere except the prison's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. That lock is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's going to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze down until that fucking earth is a black fucking hole. That's how tight the squeeze is going to be on that. That's the pressure that's going to come on that fucking ball.
Nice touch with the master lock.
Mark! Mark! Oh my God! The CIA got to Patio.
Oh my
God! If we got to early Patio, we could have convinced him to be a planner.
It's true.
No, I wouldn't have been in your cult then either.
Early Patio.
I was always too intelligent to be in your fucking bullshit cult, in your CIA cult. Or more accurately, your NRO cult. I don't even know those guys, but that's your cult masters. They're the ones running that side up. So just prepare for it to be a prison eternally. You're not going to have the paradise where this is happening. You're not going to have the paradise where real related, nourished and grown. You're not going to have the paradise where men and women enjoy freedom equally. You're not going to have the paradise where natural law flourishes, where natural law is respected, where freedom and rights are respected. Don't expect it. You're never going to have it. You're too stupid to have it. The universe does not reward stupidity. It doesn't reward stupid people. It doesn't reward people who just float their fucking middle fingers up at natural law and objective morality and true spirituality, who are low-life fucking materialist, atheist, Marxist, Nazi scumbags. Because that's what almost everybody in this fucking godless fucking world is. You're godless morons. You don't know God's law. You don't know fucking how nature really works. A tiny handful of you figured it out, and then you sat on it. You did nothing with it. A tiny handful of you don't throw your middle fingers up and say, fuck it, I'm not listening, I'm not going to learn. But when you do throw your middle fingers up, it's when somebody told you it's not just about your learning, it's about the learning of all. Now you can't be bothered. Now you can't put any skin in the game. You can't reach out. You can't become a public figure. You can't exercise your fucking will to be a small C creator, because that's what we're really here to do. We're here to create like the big creator created. We're here to create our own smaller creations and put them out for others to learn and grow. You don't want no part of that. You want to remain a fucking low-life scumbag in your comfort level, sitting in your fucking home, doing nothing with your hand up your ass. And that's what almost all of you did. Cheers to what you got. Because you got fucking got. You got got. You got owned, you got played, you got put in fucking shackles and chains. And that's exactly what you deserved. So don't expect this nice freedom-based scenario. Expect more mud and decay and blood and trash and verminous black keeping Lilith energy upon the earth. That's what you're going to have in mounds and loads. You're just going to you're going to be dripping fucking with it is what you're going to be. You already are. And you worship that fucking energy, and you can't jam it down your throat fast enough. You can't just, you're bursting your belly. Your belly's out here like a big fucking retard beer belly. You're jamming the black, thick sludge of the Lilith energy down your gullet. You love the unholy feminine. You love it. It's what you bathe in. It's what you eat. It's what you breathe. Is that the end? I don't even know what my last slide is. That's
that it?
Folks. That's the unholy feminine. Revisited and extended. That's the last slide. There's a nice
All right, guys.
note
Thank
to
you
end
for
on.
my presentation.
Okay. So we just went through the unholy feminine, neo-feminism, and the satanic eugenics agenda. All 163 slides. I did it in over 17 shows. This was originally given back in April of 2016. It stands just as profound, just as true, just as poignant today as the day that I presented it back at For Your Mind Forward in 2016.
Yeah, that's sick.
And it is just as misunderstood.
No, no.
People today know this information less than they did back when I originally presented it. It is less received. It is less known. It is less appreciated. It is more absolutely flagrantly oppositionally confronted and just blown back in my face way more than the day I delivered it. It was more well received the day I originally delivered it than it is today. You guys don't want to understand.
No one talks shit about that. Go back to bed.
2012, 2014.
No way.
This really is one of the most important presentations that I ever created in the history of my work. And hardly anybody understands it. That's why I needed to take an entire season to do it with forced shadow work included. Because if this presentation was understood and it was re-taught to others in a myriad of different ways, we wouldn't have the society that we have today. We'd be moving toward a somewhat free society instead of to a completely enslaved society. So I still have like 15 minutes to kill, and we'll just talk about the future of my work and what on earth is happening. We'll talk about the future of the great work and, shadow work. And this is one of the things that I absolutely need to do more of. I need to do more teaching of what shadow work is. I need to do more teaching of methodologies of shadow work. Again, I have a threefold methodology that I myself have not only implemented, but invented. I invented a system of shadow work, which I call the AAA method. Acknowledgement, affirmation, and action. Specifically, acknowledgement, affirmation, and right action, of course. And maybe I'll do a all-day seminar just on shadow work and what I consider best practices of shadow work.
Do it.
One of the things I didn't show you that I wanted to step out of the presentation earlier and show you was my new presentations that I released this week. I was very happy and impressed with the release of these presentations on my website because I used a scheduling feature. Thank you. Absolutely. Well, you know, since this is the last show for a long time, I'll splurge a little bit here and have a sip of beer.
Cheers.
Cheers to my peers in the great work. My peers in the great work, I salute you. So, I was really happy with the release of these 5 presentations because I finally got a chance to use the scheduling feature of my content management system, which I've never really needed to use. And I made everything go live like right at midnight. It was pretty cool, and it worked very well. I had to put the download links in after that because they weren't available until right at midnight on Odyssey. But doing it with the scheduling was pretty nice. I mean, I know a lot of people use features like that. I just never really bothered to use article scheduling until this week. So it went all well. And down on the page, there you go. 2 masks right there. You can play it or download it. You get the slides. There's why we're losing. There's technology's critical role in the war for freedom. There's the real 7 deadly sins, and there's government and slavery. So all 5 were released. They're in the front page of What on Earth is Happening. They're in the news section of What on Earth is Happening right there. They are in the videos section of What on Earth is Happening, and they're on my YouTube channel and my they're on my Odyssey channel. Let me see how 2 masks is doing. 16,000 views in 2 days. That's pretty good. I like those numbers. I think that's at least showing people, or at least watching it, giving it a chance, trying to learn. Very, very, very happy and proud of how this presentation came out. It went very, very well. So, finally released for free to the public, and people are definitely taking advantage of watching it. So, thank you for that. Just leave this up on the screen again because I just think that this presentation was so underrated. That's why I wanted to do a very extended version of it, because I really think that unless this material is deeply integrated into a person's knowledge, and not that they just take this in, they really have to do all of the reading and understanding of a lot of the people I based this presentation, the work that I extrapolated a lot of this from, and just really look into the occult, especially the Satanic Witch book by Anton LaVey that I talked about earlier on the slides in this presentation, probably about near the 2/3 mark of it, or 3/4. And if you really understand that this is all part of an occult agenda, it's going to make a lot more sense to people. And that's part of the problem, is that the freedom movement has not yet understood the world of the occult at all. This is why we're still where we're at. We're still at a place where we don't really understand who the underlying social engineers are, and that they are dark occultists. And people want to still blame all fringe groups and sects and, people who are just one aspect under the big umbrella of dark occultism. And they just don't want to grasp it. Another big part of it is human origins and the institutions, and how the religious institutions grew to be as powerful as they are. And then how the new religion called government came up, kingship and government, Until we look into these origin stories, we're not going to make a lot of progress. And people in the political movement aren't looking into that work. People in the alternative media aren't looking into that work. They're not looking into those origin stories. They're still talking about politics and money and, whether the solution is capitalism or socialism. I mean, it's pathetic. So, again, what I'm looking to do with my work is...
Yeah, so...
A lot of people get mad at us, and as we'll watch in this evening, a couple videos of people getting upset at us because we talk shit, or we're abrasive or too blunt over here. But these are the peers of Mark Passio here, people on his network. They're saying we're talking shit, but we're supposed to be hard on these people that aren't doing things right. I don't know why these guys are feeling like they're victims when they're clearly not taking things to the fullest extent.
We're holding them accountable for, for their words and their actions and their decisions and choices and the decisions and choices that they promote to other people. And,
and we're hoping to make it better. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. We've found there's some things that do not align with natural law, to put it simply.
Yeah. What do you think, Braxton?
Do you have that video saved for the hypothesis thing that I brought up earlier?
This guy here?
Same guy, but different video.
This one? No, I don't have anything else. This was the only one we saved.
We could probably look it up real quick.
Okay.
Is it really a good transition, a better transition than this one?
I mean, we could get into this if we want, but I guess the other video might be better to just kind of break down what's wrong about his arguments, I guess.
Yeah, we can play it real quick before this one.
Okay. What's it called?
Or no, I mean, like, we could show the what happened on here and then show like the correction afterwards, I guess, or trying to.
Which one do you want me to do first?
You can do this one.
Should
be
okay. So we've been, mildly pestering Will Keller here for a while because he seems very close, but no cigar, and it seems like he's kind of held up as the golden boy of one great work. I haven't really seen much of his work. I know Braxton and Devin and, some people in the group have seen a lot more of his stuff and explained, what the situation is here. And I was kind of, I don't know. So we're going to watch this video. I guess they mentioned this is the new segment we're doing here on VGT Live called VGT in the Wild, where people on other podcasts talk about us. If anyone out there ever sees anyone on a podcast talking about us, please let us know so we can feature it in this segment we're going to be doing every week. Yeah, so Braxton's going to narrate this. You want me to start it? Or give us a preface?
Go for it.
Give us a preface first.
So like a little bit ago, I caught this stream going live, and I don't recall everything that was being discussed. It was a presentation. I caught the tail end of it, but I decided to just kindly mention that there's a couple of inconsistencies from what he was presenting versus his stance on veganism, and his answers were pretty disappointing, to say the least.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a squabble that happened in the comments. I didn't go on video,
but you've been commenting.
Yeah, I'd been trying to comment, and they were kind of
her earlier comment, was she says, "Yeah, there you go."
Yeah,
talking about two people, but
talking about two people, and I get what you mean.
Yeah. I was kind of corroborating the inner and outer, which is always at play. The correspondence there. It definitely applies to both. That is the power of the union between man and woman. This is why there's such a strong war against this. There's such disruption of polarity and healthy relationship dynamics between men and women. It is the single greatest divide in the human collective for a reason.
Yes, exactly. For a really good reason. That polarization, you just take out, you influence, it's 50% of the population. And then, with a dialectic,
it's coming up.
The other 50 is going to respond in some form or fashion. So it's affecting 100%. 100%.
These guys are as bad as us.
Patty talked about the April 8th solar eclipse. Yeah, this is right during the season of sacrifice. interesting enough. So, be vigilant, be aware of your surroundings. And enjoy that portal of energy.
Right.
That's going to be a good one.
That's important.
Yeah.
These natural events are for us.
Yes.
We are natural beings. We are part of the ecology of all of that. They are the ones that are hacking these events, these energies. It's not theirs. I assume you mean by concerned that they're going to do something to co-opt that energy. But the thing itself is natural and beautiful and should not be feared. I don't think that's what you're saying necessarily, but I'm just saying, to me, that's what's important, is to keep that empowered mindset of these events are for us. We are natural born human beings of Earth. You know what I mean? We can utilize that energy for ourselves. They might do something. There's nothing we can do to stop that if they're going to. But we can tap into that if we want to and empower ourselves through that. Nature is here for us.
Right. We're allowed to kill animals and violate their property rights because they're here for us. Is this that? What's this called, Braxton? The ism that they are?
I think you could call it solipsism.
No, there was something else. The sentience is animism.
Moral relative.
Yeah, the cop out.
Animism. Okay, yeah.
The cop out.
Yeah, because it just kind of seems like a form
100%.
It's like moral relativism, because they're just kind of creating their own reality and just like shifting things, to make it work for their own perspective, I guess.
That doesn't sound like natural law.
Nope. Mark does not approve.
There's so much of that going around, the fear porn, and I rarely pay attention to it. This is something that's been going on for years and years. There's always some date it's going to be the rapture. You can see how active the Christians are right now. It's the rapture.
In the cycling industry, in the cycling scene, we call this all the kit and none of the shit. You got, these dudes that spent all this time to learn how to do, broadcasting or production and stuff. And he's got his cool little name for his show, Will Tell Truth. And he's got his little neon light, and it's like the presentation is all there. But if if you haven't taken it the full way, it just falls flat. I know we haven't really quite gotten to it. It's just
the eclipse is signaling this and that. It's all, perception management for behavior control. It's to coerce and hijack your energy. These people they're parasites. A parasite needs to feed off of a host. So they don't create anything new. They just manipulate, invert, and that's that.
I think Hyperlink has some questions he would like addressed.
Oh, here we go.
Let's see.
Good old Hyperlink.
Let's see which one. Hyperlink, can you put your main question in the chat again? You had several.
Yeah, he'd been dodging me.
I already know where these questions are going.
Oh boy. Damn vegans. I'm such a victim. My damn are holding me
Should we
accountable.
sacrifice our dependency on stealing the rights of animals and sensory pleasure?
Or
Christ conspiracy poses this question: is there a spiritual way to kill an animal? I'll give him this one question because it's nonstop on this, and I'm not sure.
Why wouldn't it be
I've been
nonstop?
getting a lot of the vegans coming after me.
If you don't answer the question,
and I stand my ground on it. I mean, I am a vegetarian of 5 years, and
vegetarian doesn't mean anything. Like, you're still this is the first thing this guy tries to do. you're still like, he's like, oh, it's just dairy, or it's just eggs, or just cheese, you know, like you're still a part of the factory farming system. You're still supporting it, so your karmic inventory is still there. And he's trying to make it seem like since he's cut down and become a vegetarian, that's somewhat like that's as far as. And another thing, me and Devin talked about last week's show. Mark Passio makes a big deal about how it's really not easy to convert from veganism, from carnism to veganism, which I entirely disagree with. And I think like these guys that aren't willing to do the work to do this the right way, they're kind of holding on to that. Oh, well, Mark was vegetarian for 12 years. That means I could get away with being vegetarian for 10 years before I actually do anything. You know, I'll just wait till I'm more unhealthy and then I'll go vegan. It will be, you know, be worth doing then, and just like do this half-ass now where you're still contributing to the death of these animals. You think dairy, there's no death involved with dairy. You think like, and the whole, yeah, like, I don't know.
So,
But
and the last
to think
part
that
of the question, is there a spiritual way to kill an animal? I don't see why that is what's wrong with asking that question. And as a vegetarian, I think, shouldn't he kind of understand, sort of empathize and have a response to that? I know he's okay, so he's obviously triggered, right? And it's kind of revealing. He said the statement, I'm going to stand my ground, which to me sounds like I have this stuck in my head and I'm unwilling to change or examine myself. And when it comes to this topic,
stubbornness.
Yeah, stubbornness, lack of teachability.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's sorry, go ahead.
For familiar words, you know.
Yeah.
Teachability.
But yeah, I just thought it's interesting. It's okay, so if you're a vegetarian, then you should kind of understand where this comment, where Braxton's comments coming
like, why
from.
would it trigger you?
Yeah. Interesting.
Like in any way, if you're this spiritual master, why would this trigger you at all?
veganism is going to correct and get us out of our current condition of slavery, you're wrong.
Okay. I wonder where he's getting this from.
So he said focusing on veganism is not gonna help us out at all, getting us out of human slavery.
I mean, honestly, look.
Correspondence, as above, so below, the fractal nature of the universe. I mean, how aren't these embedded in these teachings of that? How that's what our actions produce the outcome in our environment, that, you know, our external environment. Question mark?
Yeah, like you know, most the anti-war, you know, old school philosophers and stuff, you know, Leo Tolstoy, as long as there are slaughterhouses, there'll always be battlefields. Because I think this guy, by telling himself that he's vegetarian now and using this, he thinks he's out of this circle of death, basically. The factory farming system in the USA that's fully funded by tax dollars, subsidies, and you know, Edmund Burke, liberty does not exist in absence of morality. So like, if you're willing to give up some of your morality just for a certain taste in food, you know, it's a very slippery slope to back to factory farming. Like, you're not, that's like minarchism. Oh, we'll let a little government happen. You know, like, it's cool to have a little government, but we all know government is a vacuum. And you know, you can't just have a little bit of government, just like you can't just have a little meat eating and a little bit of carnism. Like, it's directly connected with all this stuff.
Well, the shit grows. I mean, it's a business. Businesses are designed to grow. How the hell are you going to have a small mom and pop's farm and not have it turn into a factory farm?
You know, Pythagoras, in you know, as long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. Indeed, he who sows the seeds of murder and pain cannot reap the joy of love. Like, these are all things that, like, I'm finding I'm finding these quotes on Will Keller's, his peers in his the network he's in, and these people seem to completely understand what's going on here, yet this guy doesn't. So we'll get back. Where'd the video go? It's over here. Is it still up?
That's not the pathway. Sure, you could talk about morality, you could talk about rights, etc., etc.
Is that what this is all about?
On the belief in human authority, i.e., government, is the first step. Sure, if someone can do that, if someone's on their spiritual path and they can incorporate that in their diet, less harm, I'm all good with that. I agree with that. That's dope. But for the you are playing into the
hold on, let me he's jumping around quite a bit. What did he first say?
He's saying that first things first, you need to teach.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we chew gum and walk at the same time here. We can only focus our energy on one thing. Like, what kind of argument is that? What kind of argument is that?
Making excuses.
It's and it's purely ignorant. Ignorant, another word we know quite well that's familiar. Like, holy crap. Ignorance. Ignoring.
You're not neshing. You know the information is there, but you choose to ignore it.
You know the information, and you're choosing the more harmful, more immoral choice because you're lazy, because you want a certain taste. And I don't personally believe you're even vegetarian. Why would you defend this question, this deep question that you should question yourself about? Why would you get this upset over this?
And why would you demonize vegans who are freedom lovers and are trying to spread natural law and morality and are living in alignment with that? Why would you, just because you're annoyed that there are so many of them are in your comments? I don't really understand. I see it's a lot of it's his ego responding because he feels like the vegans are stepping on his show and his territory, and he's going to stand his ground. Again, to me, that sounds divisive and that sounds polarizing. Not vegans. We're trying to show people the better way for animals and humans. That's not polarizing. As much as triggering as it may be to someone and their emotions, it is not. Objectively not polarizing.
Yeah, and it's generalizing millions of people, and it's just a shocking response. And like this is the thing, is that I've heard about Will from a bunch of people, and I actually overestimated this guy. And then I see he's only got like a few followers on YouTube and doesn't get that many views. And then he's talking like this openly and then leaves it up. Like, wouldn't you be embarrassed and delete this? Thinking that I don't know, Mark might see it, some guy that you allegedly respect and looked up towards. This is shocking.
No, he's admitting also something I just realized. He's admitting that he feels like he won't get as many views maybe if he talks about veganism because he's saying, oh, it's so important. First things first, let's talk about the human aspect. We're wasting our time. Because why? Because not as many people are going to watch your show.
Appealing to the crowd.
Be honest and say, I don't think that I'm going to reach enough audience spreading, enough people, a big enough audience spreading natural law and morality if I include veganism. That would be a more honest answer.
Braxton, you need to eat meat so we can teach people that the government's bad. Jesus Christ. People don't already know that government's the problem, dude. Are you kidding me? What year is this? We figured this out 10 years ago. We're at peak people knowing that the government's bad right now.
And these things go hand in hand. I mean, subsidies of the meat and dairy industry being the number one subsidized industry, food industry. It all goes hand in hand.
You wouldn't afford this meat that you love so much. You wouldn't be able to afford it without government subsidies. So how is that in line with natural law?
So my mother, she's in her 70s. She literally refused to take the shot with the vaccine or the jab. So I mean, like even like the older generation, the boomers are starting to realize like she actually went vegan too, started eating right. She's down 33 pounds. She's doing good. Her heart's getting better. I was real worried she was taking medicine. I'm rambling on about my mother, but
Allie's dad's a runner. He's like 60 something, just did the LA marathon and had to quit running because of his inflammation. Allie convinced him to go plant-based and he's running again.
Yeah,
instantly.
The doctors told him he needs to stop running. He thought he'd never run again.
Within days, he was running
Yeah,
again.
rested for a couple months, went plant-based, and he's been getting back into running, without pain.
No, these guys are delusional. They're ignorant and lazy, and they're fakers. This is like stolen valor type of shit. Like this is stuff that these guys should have gotten through immediately.
Into the dialectic, into the polarization, because you
The
have not.
polarization is there because, dude, like this is how you learn things. People confront others with spicy subjects and stuff, and this is how we get better. We grow as humans. And the fact that you're this offended that a couple people came to your podcast, which you should be happy about because you don't have that many viewers. Like the fact that you have this kind of response to such a decent question is just hilariously telling, and it just shows that you're insecure about what you know in your position. And like I said, I don't even think you're vegetarian. I highly doubt you're principled enough to even be vegetarian if you're taking this position like that. Like it's polarizing because like that's like saying, oh, because everyone doesn't believe in what you guys are saying, that I'm just gonna side with them. Like, wow, bro, that's like Larkin Rose nonsense. Like just BS, appeal to the crowd, appeal to authority, all these things. And you call yourself a spirituality teacher and you think you're like based. Like, holy crap, dude.
Dope. But for the vegans,
you're generalizing now.
Are playing into the
death cult that you're in. We're playing into the death cult. Is that what you're gonna say?
He's polarizing by using
The
that choice
dialectic
of language.
Exactly, and he's polarizing by choosing the side of the wrong and doubling down on it on his show when he's supposed to be teaching people the right way. This is shocking.
To the polarization.
No wonder Mark's fucking furious. Sorry, babe. I'm always
He's his
screaming
next
in
hand
there.
man. Or
You have not realized.
What's that?
or he's his right hand man as far as, you know, like helping him out with this tech situation and everything, and he doesn't understand like anything that any of these points that he's been making for all these years. Like I wonder how
seriously
long.
no, and it's like, dude, people need to tell these guys to rewatch the natural law seminar, Mark Passio's natural law, like straight up, just back to basics, maybe like start again, like as he says, start again from episode 1, like at least, you
can't just watch that once and understand it. You got to watch it 6 times.
I'm sure they've watched it a couple times to give them the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, like we need to go through it again. Sorry.
With an open mind.
Yeah.
Not like having to defend your carnist position. These are carnists up here.
Dunning-Kruger effect. And
Dunning-Kruger
then
effect.
Peak of Mount Stupid, and
Mount
then there's
Stupid.
the valley,
These
and then
guys.
you begin to go. They're on. It feels like, it seems like to me that they see themselves as on this peak, but it's this false peak of being so confident in what you know that you are no longer open for learning
And you lost your original education.
or not applying it.
Not applying it. Or never did.
Integrating and applying it
Yeah.
and doing the shadow work again. Boom, shadow work. This is.
And these guys
I
are
won't even go.
focusing on government. Oh, we need to focus on government. Doesn't Mark talk
keep
about
pointing outward
keep
instead of
pointing
doing
outward
this.
instead of inward. Same shit. Like these are the basics. This is what
Let's not
getting
look
in
at the
line,
internal-
life in line with natural law is about. This is the balance. The balance isn't just eat a little bit of meat or a little bit of dairy. Like that's not a balance. That's you like stopping right at the finish line, bro. Like, come on. Do you know how much respect you'd get?
It's cul-de-sac before the gold mine. You're on the way, you're on the path to the gold mine, but you get caught in this little offshoot, and it just keeps you there. You just get too comfortable.
Ignorance and thinking that you know everything, and thinking that you need to do a podcast and teach everyone this, plagiarized Mark Passio over again, like all these other guys that aren't creative enough to take the education they get and actually apply it into some way that works in the real world. They just want to do the same thing over again and try and get as famous as him. And it's this chasing, this, like, it's just all this ego stuff. Like, I'm not seeing people I want to watch anything from up here, even if I wasn't vegan. Like, it's a little weird.
But for the vegans, you are playing into the dialectic, into the polarization, because you have not realized the cause. It has to go in the mind, and it's focused on human to human. We need to clean up our own shit before we.
Again, we can't.
Yeah.
So while we're being activists and exposing the government, when you take your lunch break, eat something vegan.
Yeah,
it's not that hard. Holy
So-
crap! What are you talking about doing?
We all have to eat.
Everyone eats usually 3 times a day, and when you're doing that, choose something that doesn't have a sentient being in it. You fool!
So you
lazy
guys,
fucking slob,
Really not that hard.
ignorant turd.
you know how when a certain number of people like think a certain way, like that thought pattern will catch on. Like,
Group thing.
why would he be trying to talk people out of like figuring out the right shit? What is it? Is where it's like a tipping point, like the monkey thing. You know the monkey thing where a certain percentage of monkeys knew how to do this? I think it was washing fruit.
Monkey
And all of a
effect?
sudden- well, it's a communal intelligence. They've proven it exists, And the more of us that
Different
have
continents. Like this.
What?
Monkeys all know how to do the same thing, or when a monkey on one continent learns something, it like gets translated over to different countries. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking
Okay,
about. What's the word for that
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so why would he be arguing against people being more intelligent and learning new things? What a moron.
Yeah, this is some of the like weakest
It's-
responses I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's super disappointing because, again, we're gonna try and push these important teachings and then just
Fall short.
encourage people to just go along with the status quo, or not fight against it in every way possible and try and spread truth just because it's not fashionable, or because it's icky and you don't like vegans.
Yeah.
It's really, really disappointing.
It's disappointing and evil, really. You're teaching someone to poison themselves. Like, that's not in line with natural law, bro. Like, I can't even believe this dude's talking like this right now.
Yeah, because it'd be one thing if you're just like, okay, I don't really, it's not a subject I talk about, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, no, I'm
veganism is just,
against it.
but yeah, to come out explicitly saying, oh, the problem with you vegans is that you are the problem, essentially, is what he said.
And you're talking to Mark too, right? You're the guy you supposedly respect and looked up towards. Like, he's a vegan also, so you're generalizing him too. Is he being polarizing? Like you're generalizing is when you say everyone acts a certain way. Maybe you don't know what it means, but you're saying vegans all do this, and that is a fallacy, because most vegans are libs and they aren't thinking about anything like this, for one. And you should definitely, not be discouraging, people on our side from being vegan.
I guess he's right in that aspect where, yeah, okay, if you're talking about most vegans out in the world, most, like you said, lib vegans, yeah, they are pushing the divide and the polarization. But he knows he's not talking to
He's
those.
talking about us. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like,
Because we're the ones in his chat calling him out, asking him questions he doesn't want to answer, that he refuses to answer. I don't think I doubt he'll even answer this.
well, especially in being in
Well-
this circle, it's all tough love, right? We all follow Mark Passio. Like, we should be able to handle and not be so sensitive and,
Little criticism.
respond without being so emotionally triggered and actually have a little conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you think, Braxton? Is he still here?
yeah, he's there. He's rolling. Oh, not like that.
I was gonna say, I think I'm trying to think of like the motive or like what it is that's holding him back from making that leap, because I'm thinking he wants to project himself as being some sort of like a hero because he's standing up against government, saying he's like brave and all these kinds of things. But I just don't feel like he's what am I going with this? I feel like he's just completely lacking the awareness of like how hypocritical it is that he'd say go after this tyranny, stop this tyranny, but like the tyranny that I have against, or that's directed towards animals. Let's just kind of not pay so much attention to that. Like,
yeah, well,
I don't know if
concerns seems. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't know if it's like a convenience thing for him, or if it's like he like worries about his popularity, or people turning on him if he doesn't do what was right.
Yeah, that's what I'm sensing. It's Jeffrey just yelled from the bathroom. He has 900 subscribers, but I think to me it comes off as like you said, a popularity issue. He knows most people, especially most people in the movement, especially most people in this movement right now, are not into veganism. That's not the hot thing that's ever, people are still kind of preaching the, animal product thing. So I think it's a popularity thing, which is unfortunate. And I think maybe I hope, I think he needs to hear that. These people need to hear that and look inside themselves and examine themselves and do that shadow work. Because again, that's, not saying these people may be conscious of what they're doing, but it's evident about what's going on,
Most of our movement's a fucking joke. This guy's proof of it. People that identify as being part of our movement. This guy's a fucking beta male that is literally breastfeeding yet. And he brags about it like it's a fucking flex. I'm a vegetarian. I still suck on the nipple. Like, what a beta fuck. I'm sorry. I'm over it. I'll quit.
It's okay. We forgive you. But yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah, very disappointing.
Even
Most of movement's a joke.
The fact that he's an activist is kind of frustrating too, because if people hear that he's a vegetarian, they're probably not going to have that like whatever nuance he's trying to put into it, saying that he's doing it consciously and he has all these, there's all these ethical ways of doing all these things. It's like,
yeah,
like that was the case. Other people are going to be going the conventional route, and they're going to think that it's perfectly fine because this vegetarian guy on here does it all the time.
Yeah. No, they hear that and fuck vegans. Essentially.
Yeah, because we're too pushy and we're trying too hard and like making issues that don't actually exist when it's people who went halfway up the hill and pitched a tent, whatever that thing that Mark talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Halfway up Mount Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the way up Mount Stupid, definitely.
I can't get out of this.
Here, hold on. Technical difficulties. There we go.
I'm trying to remember how much.
Yeah.
But
there's more because he didn't bring us up yet.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, there's quite a bit more.
We haven't actually got to the VGT in the wild.
Yeah, and we haven't fully watched this either.
Any kind of change in the which I would love to see. I would love to see that, but that's not going to happen until we get rid of the governmental institutions and the control systems that regulate all of that stuff.
Basically, we have to let the state control what we eat as we're destroying the state. That's literally what he's saying. Like the government subsidizes the meat and dairy industry. Like if you get rid of the government, guess what? You won't have your meat anymore, and now you'll be out of excuses.
Yeah, we have to be completely
I see
in slavery.
The mass killing of animals as an effect from a cause. So is there a spiritual way to kill an animal? No.
Thank
Not
you.
that I know of. The Native Americans thought so. And I actually, and I
Because
agree.
my ancestors did it. It's okay for me to. I have to do it because my ancestors did it. Wow. Appeal
But
to tradition,
cavemen,
appeal
though.
to history, appeal to the crowd. Like just logical fallacy after logical fallacy. Not in line with natural law. Completely in line with ignorance. And guess what? The more immoral you are, the less freedom you have. So what's the point of doing all this? Why are we here talking about this stuff? I don't get it. Like, what's the point? If everything's sentient, therefore kill everything. If I'm getting that correctly. Like, that's some nihilistic sounding Justin Padini bullshit. And definitely not someone who's gotten this stuff figured out. And is should be teaching anyone, especially. Like, holy crap. We need to teach people that the government's bad. Oh, my God. Give me a break, bro. How old are you? Do you put gray in your beard so you look more wise? Like, how old are you? This sounds like a fucking 14-year-old.
Well, I agree.
The Native American.
I agree. We got to.
Bob.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. We got to teach people the government's bad. But I mean, what kind of fucking idiot claims that the government's bad and then supports the government subsidized industries designed to dumb us down and weaken the men?
These
You
guys
know
are
what I
supposed to be
mean?
teaching us about slavery.
Yeah, no, and what kind of idiot makes those two things mutually exclusive? Why is it either one or the other? How, and like I said before, like how see the pattern.
Maybe he's dumb and he can't eat eat
like,
gum and chew at the same time, because that's the only this argument is like really not a good argument. Oh,
Yeah,
we
it's
need to
very
focus on
loose.
government right now. Like, didn't we just hear Mark say that people who focus on government are fucking pussy retards or something like that? Focusing on externally pointing instead of internally pointing all day long. Like, did you learn anything, bro? Did you just watch the videos and it was in one ear, out the other? Like Justin Padini, another guy on your network who shouldn't be up there.
Oh, speaking of fucking Padini, earlier somebody had mentioned that he did another pissed off vegan hate video. And I wanted to say, if you got him to do that, that's awesome. Every month or two, one of us vegans will piss him off bad enough that he'll be like,
piss off Justin. But I've been able to do it a couple times.
Yeah, I think I've got him to do it 3 or 4. He never names the specific vegan. He just says, "You vegans." Get so mad.
No, I told him the other day that I've been in Mark's chat telling him to kick him out of the One Great Work Network.
Hey, you know something that I just noticed is kind of funny about that situation with Justin?
Huh.
So he always chalks it up to our group, like those of us who are like in the, we're in this show, we're in this sort of like small niche community, I guess. But he always like lumps us all together. When, if you notice, he's had interactions with other people who are also vegans who are like a different era of beefing, I guess.
Of course. No, he looks for anything possible. What happened the other day was I finally made him understand that the plant sentience argument doesn't help him out. I was basically had to like hold his hand and wipe his butt and explain to him that if plants were sentient, then his karmic inventory is far more than a vegan's, because he, just belligerently, gluttonously eats both of them. And that's definitely like not, I think he finally like kind of got it. And he just started like making jokes, and then he got really mad and has been posting like every day an anti-vegan. And it's just like, okay, but you're still using these arguments from like the 90s that you got from Lark and Rose that have been debunked 1,000 times, and you just got embarrassed because you finally realized that, oh, that argument doesn't make sense for me and actually helps out the vegan argument. whole crop death thing. It's like, no, sorry, your cows eat just as more plants than humans do, and just as many. This idea that one cow is one death, and a cow existing is only one. Killing one cow is just killing one being, when really, they eat just as many plants as anyone. So all the crop death stuff is responsibility on their plate also. If these guys care about karma, inventory, or anything like this, like they are claiming they are, attaching themselves to a mark and talking about natural law, then it's like I want to hear the arguments, but I'm hearing the arguments and they're all garbage. Like, this is all just lazy buffoon talk. Like, holy crap. And this guy should know better, and that's why we're here, is that you should know better. You should know way better than to fall for these stupid excuses just because you don't want to piss off your listener base, which is tiny already. And as you could see here, you got more vegans watching the show than anything. So you should be happy to do pro-vegan content because we're half of your freaking viewers. Like, you think there aren't other vegans on One Great Work? Like, they're embarrassed about being on the network with you guys. Like, it's not cool. Like, all of them are in my chat now. Like, all of them are. We have the vegan group therapy chat. Every vegan from One Great Work is in there. Like, you guys need to figure your shit out.
So here's the thing, though. Even if their arguments were wonderful, not saying they're right, but even if they had good arguments, it's not like we can't fucking look at people like Larkin Rose or Justin Padini and see that they have fucking breasts. Why the fuck would we want to give ourselves gynecomastia?
Well, Larkin's been on TRT for a while. He used to be a fat little turd, but he's been on TRT for a while. So, he obviously doesn't care.
What's
about health or
TRT?
anything like that. Testosterone replacement therapy.
So he's turned himself into such a beta that he needs to fucking take like testosterone.
Joe Rogan. He's trying to be Joe Rogan, libertarian Joe Rogan. What do you think?
I think Joe Rogan's fucking overrated as fuck.
Yeah. All right.
Americans
back this
operated,
video.
because you want to know, they operated with reverence, with respect, with a high regard and a relationship with nature, with their relatives. They used every part of the animal. Now,
Braxton loves that one.
If we went back,
did you hear that, Braxton?
What do you got on it, buddy?
They ate the butthole. They ate the brains that usually cause disease when you eat animal brains.
Yeah,
they ate the brains.
They ate the brains and ingested prions.
Prions.
Yeah, that was a really good point. We were talking about that earlier. Like, it gives you, like, you're putting yourself at risk of these horrible pathogens, bacteria, parasites, all just infesting and destroying your body. Like, not even from just a health perspective, that's got to be not great for your spirit, because that's putting your body into fight or flight mode in certain ways or causing unnecessary inflammation. You're basically making yourself a problem to be around when you go out into society.
He's cherry picking our ancestors' diets. He has no clue what they ate. And the more studies that come out, it turns out that they were basically plant-based. They got meat every once in a while. But I mean, we've been out here, we find Indian mortars in the ground all the time, which is evidence of their mostly plant-based diet. Native. So like this cherry picking, just being, and then he's cherry picking from an era when they had to eat meat. I don't even think they had to eat meat. It was just far more convenient, death defying. Like, to cherry pick from an era when that's not the era we're in now is a complete fallacy. So it's just nothing but garbage out of this guy's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I wow.
to that level of consciousness, we would be fantastic, right? But it's not about going to the past. It's about evolving from there. So
okay, yes.
We totally agree.
Evolving from having to kill animals unnecessarily to eat. Yes.
Yeah, evolving from living in survival mode to living in a more spiritual way. Is there a spiritual way to kill an animal? No, it's a method of survival. Yes, we can survive. It's calories.
But is it moral? Is it right? Is it in line with natural law?
Yeah,
Not your
especially
eggs, your butter. That's death, dude. Those chickens don't want you to take those eggs. That cow didn't want to be milked every morning.
Again, even if someone is living the most moral way, raising chickens that are not mass bred types, they didn't buy chicken, they're wild chickens, and they harvest it, that to still demonize vegans is promoting. Most people are not going to be having their own wild chickens and harvesting eggs. You're promoting people then look away from the diet that sends them away from buying those things at the grocery store. They're going to be going to the grocery store and buying them. The majority of people, 99.9% of people. So again, like,
yeah, this is a crock of shit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, and we got back in, like we kind of looped back to that. It's a good point. The whole thing of, he's going to be sort of, what do you call it? He's going to be he's going to be like explaining what his behavior is, like he's a vegetarian.
Biased.
Yeah, his own bias, like, and kind of obscure perspective, because maybe like 1% of vegetarians are actually that conscious, I would imagine, but like to where it would almost viable, like, yeah, it's not good to be getting that message out to the masses like he's hoping he can be. I'll end on that note.
Yeah, and they're giving other carnists an out to continue carnism and still like feel enlightened and all this stuff by being a part of natural law and learning about this stuff. And it's just fakery, more fakery by, clowns in the liberty movement and the freedom movement. These dudes are clowns.
I keep ranting on that.
I can definitely add some to that.
Hopefully,
from my own personal
I don't know about the
perspective.
right.
I'm not a vegan. I have been vegan before. Personally, mostly for health reasons. I've never been healthier with the diet that I'm eating now. But to your point, Will, the animistic cultures knew how to live in balance and harmony with nature. They didn't exploit nature. They didn't take more than they needed. They took what...
How do you know?
So
how do you know?
So
and arbitrary.
We should know. We're not fucking commies. It's not more than they needed. That's such an arbitrary term. How much did they need? Like, and going back, what he just said. Oh, I used to be vegan and I've never been in better health eating what I am now. So he's not vegan now. So that was just a soft way of being like, oh, okay. He's poo-pooing veganism again. And I wish he would go into that. I wish he would talk about it. I wish he would, be open about what he was eating when he was vegan, so he can open up this discourse and conversation. You can hear some other opinions from some other vegans who are into natural law and have found really great health success from doing this. Again, I don't know what he did, so I can only, dare I say, or is he just drinking?
And he got pecs from doing a bunch of push-ups, so he knows he's more healthy now. Because health is how much muscles you have, right? Give me a break.
They needed to survive, and they were grateful for it. And that is where I would like to get to. Instead of, yes, I consume animal products made from factory farming, and that is very not ideal for me. That it's where I'm at as a part of the process. But
what's the process?
Yeah, despite.
Are you processing? Is your process going towards veganism? Because you should, let's talk about
it's your journey. All these guys love talking about the journey they're on. And it's always when they're justifying something that's bad behavior.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he's such a busy guy, being an influencer, talking about natural law all the time, that he's got this massive following. He has to he doesn't have time to get caught up in the details of doing a vegan diet properly. Like, that's always the excuse.
Well, and again, that goes back to Mark saying that to properly do it, it's a lot of work, which it absolutely isn't. There is no big transition, and that's why these dudes aren't vegan right now. Probably they took it as an out. Oh, Mark took 12 years. That means I don't have to take it serious, and I could just continue this spiritual path while taking advantage of other sentient beings and incurring a body count. Like you think just because you eat dairy that animals don't die over that dairy? Like
you're perpetuating the slavery of another being.
Which is we're supposed to be unslaving.
How is that going to produce better conditions for humans and being enslaved by government and their controllers? It's all connected, right?
So dude here, whatever his freaking name is, so he knows factory farming's bad, but he's going to continue in it in hopes of someday being able to buy from Amish people or something. Like it's not like he shouldn't even have opened up his mouth. Like it's that retarded of a thing to say. And like anyone with like self-awareness would probably not even say something like that.
No, I'm glad he did. I'm glad they're I wouldn't say I'm glad they're being honest because I don't think they're being honest with themselves. But I guess I'm glad they're letting their emotions show because it's very educational. And I hope they continue on their process and their journey and listen and self-reflect. Jesus Christ.
Intend to do is own land and live off that land, whether it be crops that I grow myself.
Oh my God. I'm going to make paradise on my land that no one else can be a part of. Have you paid attention to anything this whole time in the whole One Great Work? Like, did you pay attention to anything Mark talked about in the least bit? Like, are you joking me right now?
When the conditions are perfect,
ignorant nonsense. Huh?
I said when his current conditions improve, he'll consider the moral stance.
Yeah, basically, when his own personal conditions improve, then he will improve. Yeah, his more. I guess that's what that means, right?
Going to the store right now and not buying meat and dairy is so hard to do. It's such a gnarly, intense, hard thing to do. Like, holy crap. No wonder Mark quit the show. Imagine these being like our best guys. I mean, I doubt these are the best guys, but like
right-hand men.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Very disappointing.
Or animals that I hunt and kill and clean myself and not need to rely on.
Since you clean it yourself, it's okay.
But that's where he wants to get.
Yeah, it's completely in law of natural law to take a firearm into the desert, into the forest, and kill something with it. And if you clean it yourself, it's okay. Then like, nature's like, oh, pats you on the back. Like, are you like utterly like, are you out of your mind, dude?
Look how many tools
this
it takes.
This is that thing where you get like chicks that are all like super trad and like, they don't believe anything they're saying, but they're just saying it to get followers, like what's her freaking anarchist model chick? Like any of these, like they just say these things and they post about these things because they think they're going to get a following. These guys want a following.
Like
the biggest trad farmer's wife. Yeah. So these guys want the following. The biggest group of men in the United States that are open to this kind of stuff are like Republicans and so conservatives. And so you got to throw in your bullshit, fucking satanic conservative nonsense to try and gain the like, oh, this guy's cool. He talks shit about trans people and, like trans in the schools and the vegans. Cool. Like, wow, dude, like, holy crap. Just being played by the powers that be. And then these clowns are up here claiming that they're so aware of what's going on. Holy shit.
factory farming anymore. So I can 100% agree. Factory farming is abhorrent. It should be done away with. And if you want to consume animal products, ideally you should be the one doing the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? And having that spiritual connection to nature and the animal that you're consuming and all that. I take the kind of more pagan perspective on that. So I admit that I'm not where I want
New
to be.
age bullshit. New
telling
age
you
bullshit.
where I
Sorry,
would like-
Logan. New age bullshit.
Clown.
Oh, I can't. I can't.
Clown.
Yikes.
Yeah, we need the clown. We need the clown horn inside with the-
Yeah, because I don't care
think
about
that's new
anybody
age,
else.
guys.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Is that new age? I thought that was like throwback from the boomers.
That's what we're talking about. New
Well,
age
it's
is
subjective.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, or what do you call
Connecting
that?
with what the natives did. Everything the natives did was good, and therefore that's going to be our moral basis for how we run. How
Yeah.
we do things. Like
Caveman dictate my morality.
John Bob, haven't you seen these new wave of all of like the new age hippies used to be raw vegan, so now they're all like raw carnivore people who like
Co-opted.
yeah, there's like it's a whole I got into a whole rabbit hole on YouTube shorts, but yeah, it's all these like overly tanned, like everyone on steroids, but like new age hippie. But yeah, no, they're all carnivore now and we're appreciating the animal, eating head to tail, etc., etc. That is
Eating the
super
butthole.
popular in the new age
The
right
butthole.
now. The butthole. The butthole.
Tail to snout, holes and all.
In that process.
I just
well said, man.
Well
I
said.
agree with
Oh
much of what
boy.
you said. And
Look,
hyperlink.
look at these clown brothers in fucking chasing clout, trying to support each other and fucking help each other cope when they're presented with clearly like superior, like just
Open your mind, you guys. Just quit. Enough with the cope.
yeah,
Let's
serious
keep
coping.
evolving. Part of the process is getting over this shit. Sorry.
it's like
And I'm
they're not
telling you
using their
where
brains
I would
at
like
all.
to be in that process.
No, they
I
just
would-
have they aren't willing to do the work and they're lazy and they have to defend their position. That's simply it. Like everyone's got to defend this position. That's why my Facebook is so crazy because everyone is a carnist basically these days, like these guys are
No. Another thing I thought of, another way this is like new age bullshit. Oh shit, wait, did I just lose my point? Damn it. I just lost it. Keep playing it.
Yeah, it's gone.
Sorry, John Bob.
Well said, man. And I
Cope.
agree with much of you said. And hyperlink, yeah, I wasn't trying to like direct my rant directly at you.
Yes,
I
you were.
was more about just that topic.
yes you were.
Because Logan,
What's
I do
that
agree
brown
with you.
shit on
Like,
his
there are
nose?
certain
Who knows?
Sorry.
steps
Who knows? I rhymed.
Cholesterol
That-
effect.
Yeah, cancer.
collective of humanity that we need to go through before we can have a certain level. So
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This is bullshit excuses.
No, okay. I just
Absolute
remembered, yeah.
bullshit excuses. Okay.
Absolutely, it's bullshit excuses, and it's new age bullshit. Because again, spirituality, we talk about giving thanks to the animal and all this stuff. What matters most is the material world. Still, this plane of existence, pain and suffering felt by beings here is more important than thanking your pagan gods on some other spiritual plane and thanking them for providing this animal. That's all great if that's what you have to do for survival. But I mean, again, they need to go back. Maybe they're just, they need to listen to more new Mark then.
You are so hot.
Oh, thanks, babe. But yeah, it's just new age bullshit. What happens here matters most. It's really important to learn about these things, spirituality and these immaterial things, but the material shit matters, and that's what's going to make a change. Like our actions here. So yeah, I can't with that bullshit. Sorry, I just remember it.
Bullshit. Nothing but bullshit out of these two. Holy
It
crap.
is.
Like neither of them had anything interesting or
new
new.
or insightful.
I'm begging Carnus to come up to me and say something I haven't heard before, so I actually have to like think. Like this stuff is just
And
unbelievable.
part of the reason why we're deciding to talk about these individuals is that they are on the path, right? There's hope for them. I hope, but we see potential for these people. They just need to go all the way. Drink deep or don't freaking drink at all. Like you have to keep going. And so that's why we're pushing these people. We're holding others, especially in the movement, accountable who should be way better than this. And you know, you can talk all we want about the little amount of subscribers they have and viewers still, like you can't be muddying the movement with just to be popular and, you know, appease an audience and not scare people away from using, you know, the V word. Like it's morally and principally like inconsistent, and they can do better. I hope they do, you know, like these guys. Like,
these bros are dealing with keto crotch and shit. Like
hippie keto crotch.
Yeah, very conservative.
Yikes. The stinky girls, man.
And understanding that, you know, the main principle of nature is symbiosis, is balance. And natural law always is trying to reach homeostasis, even though the consequences could be negative.
That's why the
to
universe
the point
is trying to
where we're extinct.
who aren't learning a lesson.
The planet would thrive from that, but that's not our purpose. That's
What's up,
not
Brax?
why we are here.
I said that's why the universe is trying to kill people who aren't learning the lessons with natural, or you know, sort of natural but diseases, different conditions that like are supposed to make people feel some sort of spur to change, realize that you're doing something wrong karmically to the animals, but also to yourself, as above, so below sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, I was wondering when you
Vegan,
guys were
Justin,
going to
calm
say
down.
something about that.
Justin didn't know. Justin thought he gotcha'd us last week by saying that breast milk wasn't vegan and that we were all hypocrites. It was just like, oh my god, dude! Like, no coercion, dipshit. You don't know that this is about coercion yet.
Joke, man. What do you mean? It's just a joke. Come on. Everything's a joke, right?
Everything's
Like,
a
we don't talk
joke.
about
You don't take
anything
anything serious. You get put on the One Great Work Network and you just make a joke of and a fool of yourself by not actually paying attention to anything. This fucking clown show right here.
King Clown right here. What up? Nice to see you. How is everyone?
He's here. Jesus. Sorry.
King of the Clown. That's right. Bozo himself. How you doing? Nice to see you.
You got your breasts
Look at how
hanging out
giant this
again?
guy is.
What's that?
You got your breasts hanging out again?
Yeah, I'm completely.
Why is
Yeah,
it every
he's
time
taking
we
a
go
shit.
live,
I'm
you're
enjoying
talking?
myself in the AC, you know? Woo! How you guys doing?
Justin, are you copying Bert Kreischer? Do you know who Bert Kreischer is, Justin? Are you copying him? The
I don't
machine?
believe so. I'm sorry, who? Bert who?
Bert
I know Burt
Kreischer. Are
Reynolds.
you stealing another
He knows
comedian's
who he
bit?
is. You're stealing another comedian's bit.
I don't actually watch any comedy, to tell you the truth. I'm better than all those guys
You do.
anyway. Was that? No,
Oh,
I
maybe
really
you should.
don't.
Oh,
No, I'll tell you. The way I got into writing
come on,
jokes-
Andrew Dice.
Yeah, I know him. I don't watch him though. The way I got into comedy is I don't actually watch comedians, which is why I'm so unique. What the fuck is that? What do you want, a waterfall?
You are a unique turd, Justin.
I need what?
I need what?
I didn't hear you. All right, so I don't actually watch comedy, to tell you the truth. I never really did. I got into conspiracy theories, and a lot of the videos had George Carlin and Bill Hicks, and I was like, oh shit, I remember this guy from when I was a kid, and I was like, I can do that, and I started writing jokes. So I got some new arguments for you tonight if you guys want. Would you like some?
Sure, Justin.
Here we go.
Breastfeeding's not vegan, right?
What's that?
Did you figure out the whole breastfeeding thing?
What breastfeeding thing?
You were saying breastfeeding wasn't vegan and that vegans were hypocrites because breastfeeding isn't vegan. You didn't know.
no,
You don't
I
understand
just
this is
say
about
shit.
coercion.
I just talk shit, man.
Posted up Facebook and thought you had gotcha'd us.
Huh? What's that? I didn't hear you.
What's that?
I didn't hear you. The
I
last
hear
part.
you.
Yeah, the
What
last
does
part.
I hear
Sorry.
mean?
I was
I
unstrapping my
hear.
lips. So anyway, for all my vegans that are on here, I got a question for you guys. You know, being things are
You're
getting really.
vegan?
I was for a time. I'm
You were
no
not.
You
longer
were
vegan.
never vegan, dude. Everybody
never
says you
Yeah,
were never
yeah,
vegan.
great.
vegan.
Yeah, no, we know.
Vegan is
Yes, I
is
know.
a
Oh, no, no,
lifelong
no.
commitment to
vegan.
animals, Justin.
What's that?
Veganism is a lifelong commitment to animals. You were never vegan.
You tried
I was-
plant-based.
I was
Here,
part-time
that.
vegan.
I'll do that one. Say that.
No,
Yeah,
3 years ago I
don't even
corrected
believe you
Justin
tried
on this, and he
plant-based.
forgot and went back to saying it the wrong way.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I was. What can I say? I was busy. But anyway,
Why don't you ask Allie why she blocked you?
I did. She never answered. Allie, why did you block me, Allie?
God. No, I
What?
don't. You make me crazy by how many times I have to repeat myself. So no, I'm not gonna repeat myself.
Well, I just make better points than you do. That's kind of the problem. You know, like that's
I
the
blocked
problem
you
with that.
because
I
you
just
make
make
better points than I do.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Well, all of you guys combined. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Definitely. Definitely. So anyway,
that
Damn.
was the funniest joke you've ever told.
Justin, look, someone's using Mob Deep lyrics against you in the
oh,
in the chat.
I like Mob Deep actually.
Yeah, and it's being used against you pretty
No,
well.
halfway by Race Lever. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm surprised you actually know Mob Deep. I'll give you props for that though, Cali boy. Anyway, so with the constant, inflation, prices, everything going up, I was curious to know how you vegans were going to make ends meet. Yeah, that wasn't my argument. That was just a joke. But anyway, so one of my problems, like
You
you guys are
stole
always
that joke.
What's that?
You stole that joke.
Why
Oh,
did
so
you
was the last
sound
night.
feminine when you laughed that time, Justin? Is it all the dairy bud?
Is what?
Oh boy.
Your laugh
All right, what's the next
sounded
thing, Justin?
really abnormally high pitched.
It was a fake laugh. I fake laughed, admittedly. So anyway,
Okay, 'cause
I'm back in the
sounded
gym though.
really
You'll
feminine.
start to see me puff back out real soon. You like
No,
that?
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's okay. It's okay. Don't do that.
No? Okay. Well, yeah. So anyway, one of my arguments that I wanted to ask you guys about, I already ran this by a few people. They thought it was a really good question. Is you vegans are always talking about consciousness and spirituality, and in other words, you're doing this for your soul, right? That's it, when it boils down. That's why you're doing it, right?
I don't care about my soul.
No.
I just want to
Not
do
at
the
all.
right
No.
thing. I don't want
What's
to be
it
a
about?
violent
Yeah.
prick.
What's it about?
Trying to be in line with natural law, bro.
Whose
Nothing to
version
do with
though?
my
Manly
soul.
P. Hall's or Mark Passio's or many of the people who've taught it over the years,
Dude, check it out. Even if our soul ceases to exist when we die, I
Right.
still want to be a decent person in life. You don't see me going around hurting kids. You ain't gonna see me going around hurting animals. I mean, fuck that,
But you
dude.
go around
why
hurting
would I
plants,
wanna
all you
be a
need is to
piece
take
of
one
shit?
more step, and then you can see their pain. So that you're just too lazy to take that one more step, really? And you're going to call yourself moral?
Dude, I ain't hurting nothing by eating a fucking apple. That tree gave me
I
its
never hurt
fruit.
anything by eating a hamburger either, because I didn't
So,
take
okay,
the
so
step to
your
go kill
point was that it
myself.
comes back
The way
to
you didn't
plants.
take the step to use the tool to hear the scream from the plant. So please, again, I'm not the guy to debate, okay? I'll bulldoze.
Oh, you mean because everything in nature makes noise? And since it makes noise, you're claiming it's screaming? Okay, Justin.
Well, actually, they specifically let off a specific thing.
Justin,
Notice
Justin,
the their version
Justin,
of the same thing.
Justin,
Yes.
Justin,
Yes.
Justin. How do you think you're in the more moral position when you have a higher moral karmic inventory from eating plants and animals that
I
eat
don't
plants?
necessarily think. What makes you even think it works that way? Who's to say that morality even?
Because
is
you talk about it as if it does all the time. It's your only argument.
It's not thinking it works that way. It's looking at the numbers.
the
More
numbers. What
plants
numbers?
More plants are killed when you are consuming the
That's
animals
not,
that eat
that
them
doesn't
versus
even make
directly
any
eating the
sense.
plant.
That makes no sense
How does it not
whatsoever.
make sense?
You're telling me
Maybe
if
it's
a
not
Explain.
your-
Wait. Justin,
grass,
explain how it makes no sense. Go.
What?
Explain how that makes no sense. Go.
Okay, so you're telling me, right? If a cow eats grass, and you're claiming that I'm like, again, I don't really care about whatever, but the plants, like, so we're saying, okay, so the cow eats plants, And if I eat the cow, less plants get eaten. What are you talking? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
120
More
pounds.
plants get, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. More plants get eaten by eating the cow, because in order to feed that cow, there's the caloric loss. It has to eat more plants than if you were just to feed the plants directly to humans, right?
But how many do you think every time somebody wants a burger, a cow dies? Because one cow will feed like thousands of people.
They take that into account. Justin, listen, they take that into account. So I'm just saying they've run the numbers. Like there's been studies about this. More plants, multiple sources. So this is, I'm sure Jeffrey's provided you with the references or whatever. If you genuinely want to know, I can provide them to you. We've done debates about this. So we've both done a lot of research on the topic.
That John Bob sends me links all the time, and then he hosts. Yeah, that's what I mean. See, he's just going to mute me. Can I talk?
You're not muted.
We're playing games.
You're not muted. Go ahead.
I'll bring your.
Why don't you let her finish what she has to say, Justin?
Let him go ahead. Let him go.
Like,
well, I was just pointing out that like John Bob regularly.
No, don't point out.
Where I can just send him a link.
You have time to point everything out.
What's that?
Point anything out until the person is done talking. She's not done talking. So wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'll just repeat what I said before. So how you were talking about links that John Bob has sent you. I don't know how that's relevant. Again, I can send you links if you really want to know. But I'm telling you, Jeffrey and I have done the research. The information is out there.
Mm-hmm.
More plants are consumed if you eat the cow. And they've done that, even though, yes, one burger doesn't take, there's multiple burgers that come out of a cow. That is factored into the info, I promise.
You can promise me that. Okay, can you
wait, so Justin, do you know what a caloric deficit is?
That part specifically.
Justin, do you know what a caloric deficit?
I'll send you the link then if you
Okay.
I will
I know.
Do you know what a caloric when she said caloric deficit, did you know what that meant?
No, not specifically, but I can guess.
Okay, so hold on. To produce a cow that is, let's say, 10,000 calories. This is going to be completely wrong, right? Let's say to make a cow that's 10,000 calories, it takes millions of calories to build that cow that's only 10,000 calories. So there's literally an insane amount of plants that go into cows to make a cow, and we're losing massive amount of calories to these cows' secretions and shit that isn't going to humans.
Yes, converting the plant calories into meat calories and animal product calories, there is a loss of calories. So that's speaking to your plant section.
So to be clear, I want to be clear.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I just want to be clear though. What you're saying to me is that if I eat something that eats something else, that more of what the other thing eats is going to be eaten because I killed it.
Inventory.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Just
so
like
I think so. You're missing like it's a very core misunderstanding. So like if you maybe like Google like caloric deficit loss in cattle, something like that. Maybe someone's made a better video to explain it.
I'm not expecting you to understand it.
And this isn't like a vegan thing or like an abstract thing. This is like a mechanism. So like I'm trying to think of like a metaphor, right? To like make it so like you can like understand.
Okay, so like, clear. Hold on. Ready? I just want to be clear. So what you're telling me is if I'm not a rapist, but let's say I go kill somebody that's going around raping people, more people will be raped. Because that's what you're saying, right?
No, not at all.
Completely not even trying to understand what we're telling you.
But I mean, I'm glad you asked the question.
So Justin, when a cow's at a concentration camp at one of these freaking factory farms, right? They're feeding them corn and soy, and those corns and soys had to be grown in a crop which killed animals. So just like you say, vegans aren't vegan. Shut up. Vegans aren't vegan because crop deaths. The crop deaths happen for your cows to be filled up with these calories that we lose. So it's because of the government. Like we could totally feed everyone in the world but we can't because we have to feed all these cows, and so people are
It's because of the
starving.
government, though, the
And
way that everything's set
because
up,
of
not
this
to actually.
caloric
There's
deficit.
other reasons for it, but just saying, like, just in number, like calorie
Right.
wise,
But it's
there's enough
because of the
calories produced to
circumstance that-
hypothetically feed everybody.
Right. Okay, so anyway, can I get to my point? Because I have a good one for you guys. And it's going to raise the vibration of the vegans to the next level because it's a really good question. And I know you guys love me for this. So anyway,
ready?
You're fucking evil, but that was awesome.
Like a cop.
I'm just like a cop.
Yeah,
You're the one who thinks
I'll
slave
just fuck 'em up
animals.
whenever I want. All right, you ready? I got a question. I got a go one for you. Ready? So anyway, my question is basically like, okay, so in other words, like vegans, they always tell me that they're doing this for like consciousness and spiritual reasons and this and that, and I get that, But so you guys believe we have a soul or whatever, right? I do, right? Guys, right?
Sure. Okay. Sure. Go ahead. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Would agree that we all have a soul, or there's more to things than physical matter, right? So my question is, if our soul inhabits vessels and stuff like that, right? Don't we then owe it to the actual animal or being that we actually inhabit to give them the best possible life and continue that species? Because humanity seems like it's going extinct.
No.
And obviously, again, no offense, but you guys don't look nearly as healthy as the people that eat meat. So based off that alone, like, don't you kind of owe it to the human animal to be as healthy as possible? Because I agree with Logan. I think he looks better, he looks healthier and stuff. And that's a really good point, man. Like, you can't just like
Yeah, because he's on testosterone now.
What's that?
Because he's on testosterone now. But sorry, go ahead.
I don't. Is he on? I have no idea. Why he takes juice? I have no idea. I've never taken not only any steroids, but any actual GNC.
Whoa! We weren't talking about you. Okay, wait.
Yeah,
Justin, can I respond to your first point then? You just threw out 2 points.
Come on, girl. I gotta stroke my own ego.
You just threw out 2.
What's that?
So you just threw out 2 points. Can I respond to your first point?
Of course.
About the souls and how killing animals frees them their souls to inhabit another shell.
I did not say that.
Okay, maybe you should explain then again, because that's what I heard.
Wait, can I say something real quick, guys? Justin just said us vegans look unhealthy. I'd like to point out the fact that he's overweight and has grown breasts. I would consider that literal
John
sign
Bob.
of being very unhealthy.
We're in the middle of something, John Bob. We all know this. We've made fun of him plenty of times about that. We're trying to have a debate here. We don't always,
Well, no,
leave it for Facebook.
No. His second point was the health aspect, and I wanted to get to that, but I was just addressing the first thing. I wanted him to clarify because it implied that the immaterial world is more important than the material world. And I would suggest you revisit Mark's natural law lecture but go ahead. Maybe I understood it wrong.
Yeah, well, again, Mark's not right about everything. You can have him here and debate me too if he wants.
Absolutely not.
What's that? Anyway, the point is that what I'm trying to say, why do you think all that matters is consciousness, where we have a physical reality, life forms habit? And I'm sure I've seen you guys before talk about you don't want animal life going extinct. So why is it okay for the human animal to go extinct and not be as healthy as possible and fulfill our own potential, like Socrates himself said? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's good. It's good to be as healthy as possible. Like, that's why I made the point about the Renaissance. You don't see any vegans. And people were much more intelligent then. So, I mean, what is that?
I don't hear any new arguments. It sounds like being back on Facebook.
No, okay. So, no, I just thought it was
because again, if you want to go into a health debate, and talk about the studies, and I know you want to talk about anecdotes and whatever, but we can dive into that. But I feel like I'm going insane.
Okay, let me just be clear on what I'm saying, because you definitely didn't understand what I meant.
No, we don't need you to be clear. We've heard what you've said for years. You have the same repeated arguments over and over again. You loop.
She just said it.
You
So let
loop.
me explain. So the idea that I'm trying to convey to get you guys to understand is like we're talking about consciousness and spirituality and that. And I'm making the point, well, what about the animal that our soul inhabits? Don't we owe something to the actual human animal to keep it going? And that's the point, is like the vegan community, like I pointed out, Billy Carson for 30 years was the lead vegan. he said it almost killed him and his wife. He's making videos about it. So the point is that like
not a lead vegan because I don't know who he is, and I've been vegan like off and on since the '90s. So
And this is a
I told
a
you
health
that
argument. It's a health argument.
The point is,
he's on steroids too, right, Justin? Your guy you're talking about?
Said Larkin Rose looks better
He's
now
on
than-
steroids, and Larkin Rose is on steroids also.
Wasn't Larkin vegan back when he was fat, right?
Larkin's on steroids? Larkin's on really?
Yeah.
Larkin,
I can show you the day it happened, bro. You can see he went from a fat fucking slob who had no confidence to being an overconfident buff douchebag in like a month. Of course he went on steroids. You have no idea what you're talking about. And you're lying about never doing steroids. So,
I guess
you know,
not.
like
Oh,
you're
I
just
can-
a
that I can
fucking
prove.
typical meathead bodybuilder that lies about everything.
No, give me a hair sample test. They test like 20 years back. Try to see if I got steroids or anything in my
Bro,
system. You'll find weed.
everybody went when Rogan started talking about being on test. Everybody went on it. Everybody who was in their 40s and out of shape. Come on, bro. Like,
Not only have I never taken any steroids,
how do you know nothing about any of your friends, Justin? All these guys you say you're best friends with, you know nothing about them.
So when did Larkin start taking steroids?
I could find the era. I could go look at his videos and I can show
Yeah,
you.
yeah, make-
There's
make
a
a
clear
post
difference.
about that.
His complete
Make a post
face
about it.
changed.
I'll
He
share it.
got,
Make a
he
post
got
about it. I'll share
testosterone cheeks. He got testosterone.
He looks considerably less pink back in the day.
Make a
It was
post
way
about
out.
it.
He might have even talked about it.
Okay.
Common knowledge. Anyway, we got no more time for you, dude. I'll see you later.
It's funny.
You
seeing,
are
like,
so harsh with
him go from like the show to backstage and then just his reaction and just seeing the camera swipe down. I just always look for that. Sorry.
Here, we are here to be in balance, to facilitate symbiosis in
Balance, which includes immorality. Okay, bro.
nature. And so, and, you know, in this current condition, I
Gotta
think
be evil.
that diet
just enough
is
so
a
it doesn't
spiritual
okay.
sacrifice.
I don't.
What's that?
That like old world religious sort of view that like there's like this need to have like a certain amount of evil in the world, like not even just like shadow expression or integration, but like actual evil, like sacrifice, those kinds of things. It's like an old world mentality that it just perpetuates this religious dogmatic blood cults.
Yeah.
That's all it serves to do.
And it all ends up state worship at the end of the day, too.
And appeal to tradition.
Yeah.
Just because they did it in the past, therefore
We keep doing it.
it's the correct thing to do. And yeah.
Nothing but logical fallacies with these guys. These guys are a joke. No wonder he's not getting any views. He doesn't have any followers. Same thing. Anyone in the Liberty Movement, they only really have like 700 followers. And if you're doing a show, you have 900 subscribers, your show's being showed to 9 people. Like there might be 9 people watching that show max. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But like, dude, the message sucks. It's not going to go
Choice
anywhere.
That not everyone can do,
Truth that has no foundation,
or is willing to do, or is ready to do. So until we get government and that belief in human authority, we reach that critical stage where the capacity and the potentiality.
Can't even. This is the stupidest argument.
There's not going to be.
We're never going to be there, dipshit.
We're
So
gonna reach
so
this
continue.
specific point. Yeah, where enough people know about government being bad, then we can
Then
talk
we go
about the
vegan.
animals.
That's
And until then, we just continue the pain and
arbitrary
suffer.
as
Like
fuck.
yeah.
Arbitrary.
And we were talking about this recently too, like the whole thing of veganism being the first, like the biggest red pill you could ever receive, because it is a conspiracy that everybody is a part of, more or less, and they're complicit, and they're just ignoring the fact that this is going on, or rather, they don't know, but because they won't look.
Yeah,
like that's the most important. Like these people need to understand this stuff if they want to actually be in alignment with natural law, like they're claiming they are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this lip service.
Well, I think what these guys are trying to do, they're taking the natural law stuff and making their twist on it that like accommodates their life and them not having to actually sacrifice anything. Like the fact that you would feed your children that garbage and think you're like in line spiritually, you're not giving them a choice. Like that's like gross.
Indoctrination from like the cradle.
Elevation.
Yeah. My daughter
exactly
didn't want to
what
have
it's like.
anything to do with eating any animals until she went to public school. And you're gonna defend that education you got in public school?
In
Yeah.
pure consciousness can operate. I mean, it's like even being a vegetarian. You know, I eat eggs,
Bro, lazy ass.
I do some butter.
Replace the word vegetarian with half-ass. I'm half-ass. I half-ass things. I take credit for things that I haven't followed through with.
If we're here to be
And then I post truth on the wall. Like, how could you project? Like, if someone's gonna, that truth sign up there, that's like someone walking up to you and being, oh, trust me, bro. Trust me. Like, sketchy projecting, like, weird stuff.
Yeah, what you're watching here
is a balance of being in harmony with animals. And I've been attacked on many angles. Those aren't your eggs. I have wild chickens on my property.
What are wild chickens? You have wild chickens. If you have them, they aren't wild, for one. And this is just yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he's talking about the breed of chicken. Like, I'm not. I don't know what he's speaking about. But from my understanding, wild chickens, their eggs are smaller too. Like the whole idea, the reason why we have factory farm chickens, they make bigger eggs and stuff and all. But yeah,
You're still stealing those eggs from female chickens that don't want their eggs to be stolen. Like, I've had chickens too, bro. I was a carnist once also, bro. I had plenty of chickens. You try and take their eggs, they attack you. And if you take them out of their thing and take their eggs and put them back in there, they're pissed for like 4 hours. They'll try and attack you if they see you because they know you took their eggs. Don't talk to me like, oh, they hand their eggs over to you. This is bullshit. Adding the word wild to chickens, like that's double speak, bro. You're being dishonest. You have chickens. You got them. You own them. You probably do. Like I said, you're probably not even vegetarian. You know the truth. I think I know the truth, but you know the truth. Fucking, it's BS. Like you're just saying that because you want to at least be part of the way. But I doubt you're even vegetarian. Why would you argue this if you were vegetarian and understood that, you know, you're just, it's like even what's his name? John Church, whatever, Bob Church. He at least knows it's wrong and just struggles with it and just admits he's a weak person, you know? Like, he's like, this thing I deal with trying to kick meat and dairy. Like, at least he's being honest, not like these clowns that just change whatever information they're putting up to fit their agenda. Like, completely add these things in so they could continue being a carnist piece of shit. It's fucking pathetic.
Gotta go outside.
They leave 20, 30 eggs around on the property, and then the cats eventually come over and eat them. There is a process.
Your cats eat them? This is why you have to. Oh, wow. So they aren't leaving them, bro. They have to go eat. You're taking them when they're out eating. If you did it in front of them, they'd attack you. You do this to them every day. That's psychological torture. So I get it. Oh, I'm allowing them to live on my property. So they're in like, you just make this fake deal with these chickens so you can steal from them. Like, I guarantee you're not only eating your wild chicken, little tiny wild chicken eggs, bro. You're just making shit up. Every carnist is like, oh no, I get my meat from the Amish. Oh yeah, I eat nothing but grass fed. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You know the fucking truth. You know you're lying. You know you're being dishonest up here. You know you're being a half-ass. Woo!
Same with honey. It's like, so there's a give and a receive, a give and a take, and that is symbiosis. So
give and a take, a give and a receive.
we need to.
No,
we
that
need
is
to,
not symbiosis, bro.
I'll
Nonsense.
touch
You just
on this.
add. You just change those words
We
around.
can do both. No,
to make that work. He's just, you could see him do it in his head. Look at him. He's all, oh, how can I make this sound right? Fuck.
No, yeah.
Fakers.
Symbiosis is both organisms mutually giving, not give and take. What are you giving the animal? Are you, oh, I give him a place to live in my
Bullshit.
until I like
bullshit. Until you
no.
take all their property from them. All their rights.
Life.
Their first
Because
and
you're
only
too-
main piece of property.
You're too lazy to make a fucking garden and grow your own food. You gotta pay other people to, like, these clowns. These, like, just talk. Yeah, clownery.
you can do both, is what you're saying.
I'm
You're
shocked
saying a lot.
that these guys are such clowns.
Of people can't. A lot of people can't. Right? For you to be fully vegetarian first, are your veggies even sustainable, bioavailable in nutrients?
Oh,
there's so many
yeah.
poison crops, and the ground is
Same
so
question for whatever you're eating. You could go the same way for that
You
direction.
can't just eat vegetables from the grocery store, otherwise you're gonna die. But you can eat the meat from the grocery store. That's okay.
All day long. Completely okay.
Are you kidding me?
Don't eat soy. Eat meat that's with soy. You know, like, this is just fucking stupid logic. People like this spout all day, coping, trying to convince themselves when they're right, when they're not.
Yeah, and trying to convince themselves. I'm sorry, this whole thing about, oh, either eat organic or don't eat at all is absolutely yes. We have to eat something. Sure, growing our own crops organically, all to the highest degree would be ideal. But buying regular ass GMO sprayed vegetables from the grocery store is exponentially better morally for the environment and for yourself than just going and buying meat. And even buying meat from the farmer's market or from the Amish. I'll say that. Like, I don't, I know people, even vegans will get mad at me for saying that, because I get, yes, we all want to eat organic and whatever, but it's an absolute fallacy. These people making people scared of vegetables and grains and all these things. I cannot. And what did he say? Bioavailable again. These buzzwords that
Joe Rogan,
confuse
groupthink,
people.
bullshit.
Anti-nutrients.
Anti-nutrients. Fat adaptation. Just like pure snake oil. And people, everyone, including Kareem Mays, which we'll get to later.
Oh shit.
These clowns inside the truth movement pushing this carnivore stuff is just,
It makes me sad.
it's just the next
bummer.
level. Like, wow.
I think they're beta males and really, really dominant women. It's not even cool.
We're gonna make a soundboard. We're gonna get you saying beta,
I think they're
fucking
beta
beta
males.
males. We're gonna have that as a button.
a lot of areas, a lot of people are eating, vegetables and stuff that are that have no nutrition in it. I mean, it is a fact. You see a lot of vegans that are malnutrition.
It is a fact.
Can it be done? Yes. It takes dedication, and sometimes.
You ever see malnourished carnists? See them everywhere. They don't even know it.
And, you have to take into consideration ancestral energy, the origins of our ancestors, where that energy is comprised in
Bullshit,
our
new
genetics.
age, bullshit. Sorry.
Bullshit, fake, fucking new age
Watch
nonsense.
the streetwise spirituality lecture again.
Jeez.
Just not to mark Passio worship here, but just like, okay, he's the best, most concise. I say concise, but they're like 8-hour long lectures. But like, he's not. It's not his own
why
shit.
we're all here.
He's gathered this information. So again, Justin earlier was like, "Oh, natural law. What, Passio's version or Manly P. Hall?" It's everyone's, fool. It's your own relationship with truth. Truth is, regardless if you believe in it or who you heard it from, you should fucking know better. Sorry, rant over.
Yeah.
No, I actually just said that yesterday. What wasn't that yesterday when I said that natural law is like what we naturally develop as we get older after what we've been exposed to, our interpretation of it grows and changes.
It should. It's supposed to. If we're open to it, if we're doing the shadow work, if we're holding ourselves accountable, if we're, you know, if it's
aligning yourself with it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, most people they stagnate. You know, not even talking. And then, you know, again, to bring up Mark again, he was talking about this in his earlier or more recent shows. It's not even talking about the people in the freedom movement. They should know better. They should continue the process of growth and integrating this knowledge and growing up and learning natural law as we experience things and see, oh, wow, why am I having this reaction? Why did I do that? That's not in line with natural law. Do the shadow work. Where's that coming from? Blah, 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 blah. Like, that's what we're supposed to do. And these people are doing it more than anyone. That's why it's
but they're
like
dug in, stubborn, not being immovable with their beliefs, which is like thinking that they could teach people something when obviously they don't even know what they're talking about.
Thinking they can teach people something and not learn anything further.
Well, this is going to probably sound stupid, but I think like natural law comes
beta males
fucking naturally. You look sorry, I got distracted by that. Okay, so natural law. Say when we were all kids, we've all seen fucking Bambi, right? Remember that hunter when he shot Bambi's mom? Everybody in the fucking theater knew that guy was a piece of shit. But then we're brainwashed. We're being taught that hunting's okay, you know? And then we have to break out of that brainwashing as adults and realize the natural law that we knew as children. You know, like the school system's just dumb us down as fuck. That and beta males. Sorry.
In our epigenetics. So the transition is long and needs to.
But yeah, the cherry picking of the ancestors is just absolutely ridiculous as an excuse to be not being in line with natural law with how you eat and the way. And it's not even about eating; it's just killing animals. Like Padini's always like, "Why are you so focused on everyone's diet?" It's like I don't care what you eat. I care that you're killing animals. I don't care that you eat it. Like that's gross, but like you're killing animals. That's the whole point.
There's a long process of that. So can it be done? Yeah, people can do it, but the getting on the battlefield so we can get that first most crucial stage of the enslavement of our species, humanity, since we are the stewards and we are there to take care of the animals for that balance.
What a fool.
No change is going to happen for the planet, for the animal kingdom, for these ecosystems until humanity cleans up their own shit.
How the fuck are you going to stop slavery? By promoting slavery. Because that's literally what he's saying.
Continuing slavery for a while longer. Let's continue slavery for a while longer. Instead of taking the next step, let's not take the next step. And we'll just wait and continue to be fake activists on Facebook, like Justin Padini, who thinks he's changing the world by posting about PDD every day. Unreal.
We must stop.
I'm talking about in the aggregate. I mean, sure, a community can go and escape and, live in the outskirts and, have a homestead vegan lifestyle. Yeah, that's great. All 15 of you guys are really creating change for the current human condition.
There is 15 of us about, I think.
So he
said I did it.
We can make change. He said the way we can make change is by moving to the outskirts of the city and making a vegan
utopia.
Yeah, is out
hiding from the world and not doing anything to change it.
Get away from my audience, you guys.
Yeah.
Stop trying to convince my audience of something different than what I'm saying. Just go isolate yourselves. Yeah. Sounds great.
Wow. It's really good encouragement for, your spirituality training videos to tell people to isolate themselves and go off and not try and change the world for the better. Holy crap.
Which is like the opposite of what Mark tells people to do.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you better hope I never meet Mark Passio someday. Holy crap. Like, you guys are dunzo. Like, I'm sorry.
Daddy's gonna be mad
Yeah.
at you.
Like, I don't know if he doesn't see this shit and he just doesn't pay attention. He seems like he does, but holy crap. Complete clownery in his name attached to it. It's just everyone look at his comments. Oh, you're so great, Will. It's just nonstop yes men, nonstop. Oh, everyone's great. Everyone's great. Therefore, no one knows who the piece of shit is because everyone's just great, and no one holds anyone to any kind of accountability. Everyone just lets everything go, and everybody gets mad at us. And it's like the tooth belligerent. We learn that every day. Like, oh, they're just talking shit. Therefore, nothing on their channel is true. Okay, sure, buddy. Throw the baby with the bathwater out. Keep doing that. That's why we're at where we are at right now.
At where we at.
Well, if you know, you know. Oh shit.
That's how I'll jump it off. Simple.
Just,
and understanding that, you know, the main
What's the
principle
timestamp?
of
Like, what are you
nature
at right now?
is symbiosis.
Did you
Fully
just
vegetarian first, are your veggies even sustainable, bioavailable, and nutrient? We need people to get out there and talk about objective morality, and we need people.
Hold on. Sorry, I
why
skipped
this
back.
is such a big problem is because it's polarizing. I'm talking about in the aggregate. I mean, sure, community can go and escape and, you know, live in the outskirts and, you know, have a homestead vegan lifestyle. Yeah, that's great. You know, all 15 of you, you guys are really
Yeah, you think that's what vegans are into? Like just isolating themselves and not doing any activism?
No,
like
that
you're a
was
fool.
That was a soft jab at you and your show. He's like, oh, you and your 15, like what you're doing with his followers. Are you 15 of you? He's like
Oh, I got a
trying.
lot more than that.
He's trying to, do a little jab back at us talking shit.
If he wants, we can compare numbers.
He's talking about being out in the desert. Oh, he's done some research. Okay.
You think? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Or I could just be talking about the show, the people, you know, who are on.
Well, that would be
VGT
the one
Live.
jab you could take at us if,
Yeah.
if you're
Oh,
like,
15 of you.
oh, you guys trying to isolate out in the desert. That's not going to do anything. Like, no.
I don't know.
change for the current human condition. So
Yeah, and you are by continuing slavery of animals, right?
I have
Just telling
three
everyone,
slaves.
keep doing it. Keep
Here's
doing
one
it,
of them.
everyone. Keep victimizing animals, sentient beings, in the name of natural law.
It's a very complex and nuanced topic. Every individual is different. I think ancestral diet has a lot to do with it as well.
No.
Not everyone even has the capability to healthy,
Oh,
just
boy.
completely
New
All
age
the
bullshit.
cease from
Yeah.
animal
Blood type diet that's already been debunked.
products.
So I
And-
gotta say
yeah.
it. I think I support slavery, guys. I really do.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Since you have
Not,
the name,
not like we have in our society. but
ancestral.
this
Since
right
that's the word ancestral, I'm just gonna go eat meat because it's ancestral.
No.
And since they did it in caveman days, you know, that should dictate our morality these days, especially our morality when we're representing natural law.
I don't know, but I know I have a slave right here. And I think that us humans, if we do have pets, I know that's a form of slavery, but I think that's like the one area where, you know, we should be close with animals and there's really no way to avoid. You know what I mean? We need to have that close bond.
Could we argue that adoption would be stewardship? I mean, I think buying an animal from a breeder, supporting breeders, that for sure, that's you're contributing to slavery. But obviously,
If a cat rolls up to you on the street who's got a broken leg like this one, and he's, you know, it's gonna die if you ignore it, and then you take it on and you become its steward, that's a different thing than going and buying like some purebred dog from a trainer that's, you know, completely immoral. And
or just whatever, backyard breeders. I mean, you see it all the time. But yeah, it's just the pets one is it's an interesting one to dive into, and I definitely vegans need to rethink, you know, like buying, there's a lot of animals, like buying parrots and stuff and contributing to that. Like there's certain animals, they are, as they exist in the wild, they are wild animals versus, you can argue, cats and dogs are in a little bit different of a situation. And we can't just release them all in the wild because, you know, like numbers wise, number one, they probably wouldn't make it, and the effect it would have on the environment. But
you gotta
yeah,
see it in the
especially having
Philippines.
cats.
Dogs are wild animals in the Philippines. They got free roaming. They'll sit and lay on the road, on the side of the road, not in the middle of the road, but they always have more lanes, more space there. Well, the dogs will be off to the side of the road and sunbathing. So you avoid the far lane, you know, when you're going quick because you want to make sure the animals are safe. But there's no leashes, there's no collars. What?
Yeah. I've just seen videos like at Thailand as well. It's like part of the culture there. Like they just live amongst the people. Like it's crazy to see.
It's really wonderful. They have a level of freedom that they don't have anywhere near that in America. And I was really proud of that, and very happy to marry into that culture where I saw animals had so much freedom, because I knew, like, when I saw that, I knew my animals were slaves in comparison. Like, they didn't, you know, and I consider myself a great dog guy. I love my dogs. I take good care of them, but you know, like when you see them having that level of freedom where they can roam freely and just lay down on the side and do what they want, it's wonderful. Hey, sweetie.
It's more of a personal thing than certain people would like to acknowledge. You know.
Yeah, for sure. And and here's my main issue with it, hyperlink. Listen to me. You don't hear me. Listen. The reason why this is such a big problem is because it's polarizing. This is where all the militant vegans come out of the woodworks.
Truth is belligerent, bro. Sorry. Not everyone's going to be nice all the time, especially when, you know, animals are dying. It's not like they aren't dying by the billions in the meantime.
Dude, no, that's like saying, oh, being anti-war is polarizing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to do my podcast. I'm not gonna speak out against Israel. I gotta, you know, like, what? That's polarizing. Yeah, it's fucking polarizing. Like that, because the normies,
doesn't mean it's bad
to the
or
people,
wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just because people react to it in a way that they're programmed to doesn't mean that it's not truth and that you shouldn't be speaking it.
Dude, if your show was polarizing, you'd have more people watching it. Like, people aren't interested in boring, nothing subjects. Like, polarizing is what we need to do to change this place. Like, attack these polarizing issues instead of just ignoring them and standing up to the vegans. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
No, we need to
bro?
have, if anything, we're doing the opposite of what they're saying.
Yeah.
We're trying to have a broader reach. I'm sorry, but they're preaching to a niche audience, you know, and while I understand, yes, we all agree, we need to understand government is slavery, human authority is not real, you know.
Yeah, we got that 15 years ago, bro.
Yeah, and it's not, you need to have more, you know, in there, you know, like there's so much out there in social media, like we were talking before, like, don't you think there's value in vegans teaching other normie lib vegans the way about how continue with their principles of veganism to how it connects with human slavery and subsidies, all that shit, you know, like, to just, like you said, throw the baby out the bathwater just because you don't have a good reaction to it, because your audience doesn't have a good reaction to it, to your niche, you know, just because you're niche
trying to be
social
famous.
Community. Yeah. Your niche social community is, you know, it's not trendy, you know, and maybe polarizing in your community. That's bullshit. Sorry.
Pussy bullshit. Fake, ignorant. Faker.
That's why I think it's motivation.
Truth. Yeah. Will tell truth, like projecting much. And that's the thing, is that people, the people with the truth signs and the I tell the truth and trust me, they're the liars. They're the ones, they're loud about this because they have the personal problem with it. So I don't ever trust anyone. Oh, we'll tell the truth here. And then, oh yeah, it's okay to manipulate animals and take animals' property away from them. You know, it's in line with natural law. And then just like this half-ass, like, oh, don't do anything too difficult. You know, don't do anything too difficult.
And I'm sorry, the
Holy
ancestral diet stuff. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
have you
Clown.
looked into that? What is the research backing that to? You having that belief,
dude.
or that, you know, like
These people didn't live past 50, 40. Like, you're a clown.
Are there certain
Uh-uh.
yeah, no, I
Clown, dude.
Emails nonstop. They all come out and they all think we must accomplish this goal, right? We must. This is the only way. You do it. Where's your work? I'm doing what I got to do. I'm doing what I can do. I advocate that for
nobody.
Several years. But where's your work? Put it out there. Let's get to it.
Bro, I
So
have like
we can
3,000
push
videos.
towards both.
I mean,
Yeah,
many,
if somebody
I got
can,
3
go for
billion
it.
views.
That's a personal decision. We need to understand that we are in a state of war and enslaved. So
Really? Thanks, Captain Obvious. We've known this for a decade. We've known this. Our parents knew about this. You're talking to us vegans like we don't understand what you're saying. This is old news to us. That's why we're vegan now. We understand it's more than just this scared of the government. So we have to change everybody's mind about the government. We have to change everyone's mind. Like, we know the government is control, bro. But guess what? The government is mostly just in your head. And that's all anybody needs to know. 90% of government is in your head. You are self-regulating yourself all the time. That is what you need to be talking about, not we need to protest the government. Like, give me a break, dude. Hearts and minds. You don't get this stuff by like repeating this over and over and over again and then ignoring doing any other work because you think you're on this righteous path because you're telling people the government's bad. Like, fuck off, dude. Ugh.
we need people to get out there and talk about objective morality. And the illusion of government so people can quit their cult. And sure, you want to talk about extending morality to the animal kingdom, which is true. I totally agree with that. You can do that. You can educate that. Just like Mark has. Mark has his few episodes and then he doesn't try to go there anymore because it's so polarizing. It's not
really, because he mentions it all the fucking time. You're just too dumb to see it. You think you're a part of what he's talking about because, but in reality, you're who he's talking about. The trash monkeys, the shit socks, trash apes. Like, you think you're a part of his team because you're sitting by him and doing all his stuff, his thumbnails and everything. You think you're on his team, but he, in his way, is telling you that you're a fucking idiot because you're still taking advantage of sentient beings and being lazy, actually doing work. And I know you said you have kids. You're feeding your kids a diet that they might not want to be a part of spiritually. So wow, bro.
Okay, and another thing I just thought about, Mark was railing on people, carnists, who claimed that when he was away, when he took a break from the show recently, that it was because he was sick from being vegan, right? And so he was talking about them because while they may not have directly commented to Mark, oh, we think you're away because we think you're sick because you're vegan. They think you can't be as healthy being vegan. They both revealed that in what they said and what we watched. So he is speaking to them. You are those people who are saying, oh,
you're of that mentality.
You're going to get
those
sick
guys.
Because you're like, so.
That's what Justin said. Padini, when I was like, hey, look at this video, it's about you. He's like, I've never said that to his face. And I'm like, yes, but you say that on the daily to everyone else. Like, you are the quintessential anti-vegan. Like, and to have, again, I'm going back to Hyperlink's question, was an interesting question that you would want someone to ask on your show. And instead, you went on a temper tantrum because you know you're not right. And you know you've been bested over and over again by every vegan that comes here. And you're just mad and you're having a little temper tantrum. You couldn't even control yourself on your professional show to answer the question. You had to go on some generalized, nonsense, fallacy-filled fucking rant where you're like completely out of touch. Definitely not in line with natural law. Definitely not anything I want to learn from anyone. You're supposed to take Mark's stuff, not dilute it with meat and fucking dairy and eggs and gross shit.
Even, you know what? And whatever. Fuck Mark then. It has nothing to do with the person. It has to do with the teachings and the principles and following them through to their ends and aligning your actions with them.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with Mark.
And not caring what other people think of you and your principles. You fucking pussies. Oh, people aren't gonna watch my show if I'm vegan. Fucking pussies. Jesus. Too polarizing. You guys polarize. It's us. It's not y'all in the death cult who are the majority. Right. Follow the majority. What kind of truther tells everyone to go with the majority of all the sheep? Like, holy crap.
What a great fucking point. I've never heard it said that way, but that's pretty good, brother.
Like, I hope these dudes fucking reevaluate. It doesn't seem like they're happy about really talking about this. Even, you know, like this other guy, whoever the guy on the right is, I can never remember his name.
Logan Hart.
Logan, oh yeah. Braxton, sing the song. Tell us your idea. Braxton had an idea.
No.
For Mr. Hart here.
It's Be Quiet and
He's
Dry.
gonna perform it
He's
tonight.
gonna sing it. Braxton thinks it's funny that Logan
Trying to
Hart
be a
is
professional.
into poop stuff
Highly
sexually.
unprofessional, he says.
Not that I'm one to kink shame, but being into poop's a little weird.
It's just silly stuff. We're just messing around here with the poop stuff. We're just messing around. Not the vegan stuff. That's serious, but the poop stuff.
The poop stuff is you know.
We're just farting around.
We kid. We're just farting. Oh my. Damn,
Okay,
babe.
so don't go into detail, guys, but are you guys for real? Is he really into poop stuff?
We won't go into detail, but yes.
What the fuck?
Not him. It's other
God, we
people
live in a fucked
that
up
still
world.
need to do more of the work and get from that reactive polarization to more of the balance.
Need
to
balance
understand that
polarization.
there are certain objectives that we need to accomplish in the aggregate.
Right.
Yeah, I know you guys have a weekly discussion. If this is
here it comes.
If this is who I think
Here it comes.
I know you guys have a weekly, so he. Oh, okay.
So yeah, so this is our official, our first VGT in the wild. Another show talking about us. This is our first one. Yay! Congrats! It's been 26 episodes.
Proud of us.
I know this happened a while ago.
We're big
but
time now.
yeah, we're big time now. Damn. We got a guy mention us who has 900 subscribers. Woo!
So 9 people will see it.
I know you guys have a weekly discussion.
Yeah, nine people are watching his show. Statistically, he's got 9 people, which is fine.
10.
We have at least 15. We have at least 15. So
Nice.
you know, like I said, these guys are just about as bad as us, as far as like professionality goes.
Discussion. If this
Yeah,
is
but at least we have a morally. At least we have a morally consistent message. Just saying.
Well, we're doing it instead of just talking about it like these clowns. Who knows what these guys do? Like, you know, like that's the thing. It's like all the shit and none of the kit, none of the shit. Like they got all the stuff to make it sound right, but do they actually like this has been the whole thing for 15 years now. I've been complaining about these people talking about this stuff, but not actually doing it in their lives. not doing agorism, not trying to keep a job, trying to buy new cars, stupid shit like that, trying to make money on YouTube, which creates revenue generation for the war machine. You know, like, yoo-hoo.
Well, not only
is,
that, like,
then
hold on.
I've seen bits of your guys' show, and it's pretty whack, bro. All you guys do is just talk.
Oh, we're whack.
You have to go back 2 clicks for that. We gotta hear that again.
Pretty whack, bro.
Whoa, we're whack. Yo,
He's fucking dope, yo. Okay.
you got to turn that into a sound clip for the show.
I know you guys have a week.
Shut up, John Bob. God damn it.
It's okay. It's okay. Sorry.
If this is hyperlink, if this is who I think it is, then I've seen bits of your guys' show, and it's pretty whack, bro. All you guys do is just talk shit about people.
Mission accomplished.
So, anyways,
Yeah,
I'm done
he
on that rant.
specifically mentioned Jeffrey Phillips.
That's not helping. That's not helping anyone. I'm not trying to be a dick or an asshole, but just getting on a call with a group of people to talk shit about people, to troll people. I'm calling you guys out. I'm calling you guys out right now. This is what I'm doing. This is the meaning and purpose of this rant is I'm calling you guys out. You guys aren't doing shit. You guys just talk shit, and this does not help the cause. We need true education, effective, efficient education, not trolling. Because all you're doing is putting yourself in a tunnel vision and pushing people's awareness away because of the reactiveness and the polarization. So that's my piece.
Doing it by telling people to continue.
Let's move on to
you
any other
toolbox.
questions.
Holy
Did we
shit.
just have a beta male that isn't even
Be
breastweaned
Sacred
yet?
Space.
Fucking
Everyone go
talking
check
shit
out her
about us?
channel. I did an interview with her.
Bob,
She's
hold on, Bob.
fantastic. Great show. It's always great to see you.
Oh
all
my
working together.
lord, what clown show those guys are. I was surprised. I thought like they would be better than that. These
The guy
contests-
still breastfeeds, dude.
What's that?
I said the guy still breastfeeds. I
Yeah.
don't think we should be taking him too seriously.
What was I telling you today, Braxton, earlier? These guys with their black button-up shirts.
Oh
All
yeah, the
button-up shirts and the beard and the like cocky attitude. These ego guys, these occult guys, they're all ego guys. And especially like if they're not like at least trying to protect animals in some way, then it's just like, wow, you're just one of those ego guys. You think you are the pinnacle of everything and that everyone's just here for you. And the only reason they believe that stuff is because they don't want to change. They don't want to not eat meat because they think that it makes them a man. They think that having buff muscles makes you a man. And but they're not. They're little children that have to hide behind things, black t-shirts or black button-up shirts and beards, and spout their nonsense because they're scared little kids that don't really know what's going on. It's crazy. Mesquite.
yeah. Well,
But,
they're like
so-
it's just gurus of a religion that's pretending to not be a religion. Like that's really all it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do not speak of veganism in our church. Get out. Cast yourselves out of town and make a commune on the edge outskirts of town.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally
This is my property. You're not allowed here.
God, dude.
Like, wow, I'm glad you're not in power because things would be exactly how they are now. These guys
Exactly.
think they're truthers, and they think,
They don't realize how hypocritical it all is.
yeah, pretty pathetic. But we're doing a deep dive on these guys. Dude, super deep dive. Deep dive. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Oh, John Bob looks like MySpace Tom. Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Who's Tom?
Tom from MySpace.
I have no idea.
That dude. He's just some
What do you want to know?
college nerd.
What's that?
Oh, what's next, Braxton? What do we got next? Okay, we did Pythagoras, we did Leo Tolstoy, we did Edmund Burke. Now we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch some cool activists that are all around. We're gonna check out a couple other channels and see, not just be trash these dudes.
An asshole and like actually be effective.
Yeah.
Like hypocrites.
Yeah. So this is another person that would be a peer to these two guys we just watched in the video, which is shocking because he seems to completely get it, where her peers completely don't get it.
Yeah, somehow missed the mark, but other people are getting there.
Wow.
But yeah.
So to think that these two are peers, these three are peers, is going to be shocking.
On the path of truth, you did not end up a vegan anarchist. You did not go all the way. So today I'm going to talk about how the ideologies of vegetarianism and libertarianism did not go all the way, and they could be considered tent pitching ideologies. Tent pitching, a term used by Mark Passio, as in going up the mountain of enlightenment and stopping short of it and pitching a tent, which of course we're all liable to do at some point. And so we're going to talk about why that is the case with these ideologies. And first we must make the distinction between the qualitative and quantitative aspects of good and evil. And some people think that the less evil means that it's good. And we have to understand qualitatively, good and evil don't change into each other because of the law of identity. Evil is evil, good is good, and the law of excluded middle, there is no in-between. Now, the in-between has to do with the relative spectrum of evil, and then separately the relative spectrum of good. And so you can have more and less of either. And with evil, we can say that sexual assault is better than rape. But even that doesn't quite sound right. It sounds better to say that rape is worse than sexual assault. They're both evil. And so what we see with these philosophies of vegetarianism and libertarianism is they want to lessen the quantity of evil to so little animal exploitation, so little human exploitation, limited government, and that's a problem, and even some vegetarians, they want to go as so tiny, like maybe 0.01%, where they're just catching those eggs falling out of those chickens. And we're going to talk about why that's a problem. And it's a problem because we have to always begin with principles. Principles are first. Principles. And when we're talking about the duality of good and evil, we're talking about a moral duality, a spiritual dimension. And that regards a moral compass and the do no harm. And of course, we have to evolve out of our lower selfish nature. It's all about me, to the higher moral, aware, awake, selves, our real selves. That's where we're aware of what's going on, and where we unify our own consciousness within, and then we live in harmony with natural law without. So when we develop moral consciousness, we understand the principle of self-ownership, and that I own my own body, an animal owns their own body. So I have no owners, I have no masters. Even though government wants to tell me they own me, like, that's not real. Authority is an illusion. So it's not real that I own another animal. Now, of course, we can take care of animals, and have them be like our family members, but that's completely different than owning them and using them. And when we talk about using, we're now speaking of the moral distinction in philosophy between ends and means. And every sentient life is an ends into itself, not a means to an ends. We shouldn't use each other to get something, just in the way that we shouldn't use animals to get something or exploit or objectify.
Braxton, did you Did you hit up Jana?
Not recently, no.
You probably should.
Yeah, let her know
What?
so she could. She wants to provide some
Okay,
commentary.
I'll hit my hand. God, fucking damn it.
And so, you know, with vegetarianism, the question really becomes, why compromise that principle, like even to a tiny degree? Because, you know, when you compromise that principle, you're actually indulging in an action that's diluting the principle and, you know, in bringing on a little bit of self-contradiction, you know, which fragments the consciousness. And it's a holographic fractal universe. So even just a tiny area of your life where you do that, I mean, you start to kind of blur the lines between good and evil in other areas, and exceptions can start to pop up everywhere.
Slippery slope.
And that's just, you know, you're becoming divided. You're becoming divided within, because let's face it, none of us are going to be perfect. And there are going to be situations with food where we are going to might have to compromise. You know, as a vegan, I can say that, you know, there are a few times I've compromised on honey, like, and not happy about that. But, you know, sometimes it happens. So why would you seek to create that imperfection, you know, when there are going to have to be real life, you know, exceptions, and which doesn't make it good. You know, let's remember, it's, you know, the qualitative distinction there. But so, you know, this really becomes apparent that how a lower quantity, how it relates to a high quantity in libertarianism, where you have, you know, limited government, and, you know, 100 more than 100 years ago, you have our founding fathers, you know, writing the Constitution, but they opened the door for horrendous evil, and now we're on the verge of global tyranny, and everything's chaos and a mess, and the whole financial system and all. And so, you know, when we take a step back and look holistically, you know, that seed of evil of allowing just 1% tyranny and slavery and 1% owning of us is now like going to be like 100%, you know? So, you know, you see how the only difference between, you know, the seed and the tree is just time, the factor of time. And that's why, you know, when we start to corrupt our principles, they ultimately lead to greater corruption. And not only that, it's that everyone influences everyone else. And so, you know, if we're in these ideologies of vegetarian libertarianism, we have that influence on other people as well, to start making their own exceptions in their own ways, you know, for government and animal torture and murder and whatnot. And government should be considered human torture. So let's you know, if we pitched a tent, let's get out of our tent and start to develop some self-love, because that's really what it all comes down to. I mean, to love ourselves, you know, enough to want the best for everyone, and to care about every sentient being, and to know that when we do that, we will go up that spiral dynamic of evolution, and our lives will become lighter and freer and happier and more joyful and prosperous. So yeah, so I'm encouraging you all to do that. And thank you. Sorry, I have a cold. Thank you for listening to me, and I love you guys. Goodbye.
Wow.
A vegan who's preaching, who's teaching people about human slavery and how government is bad and human authority is not real.
Somehow they're able to juggle both those things at one time. How crazy.
I thought that wasn't supposed to exist.
It should be impossible, according to those clowns.
No, we do with one thing and one thing only. That's all. That's all we have room for.
Yeah. Focus right on the government and telling people that don't know that government's bad, that government's bad. Like, holy
Justin
crap.
does that shit so bad. So bad. You gotta focus on the government,
it's so
otherwise
easy
you're
to
not
default
an
to complaining
activist.
about government. That's why everyone does it. It's so easy just to be like, oh, government's holding me back as a human. And like, but it's like in your head, dude. Like, we all live in anarchy most of the time, you know, like take advantage of it.
Yeah, but even voters are against the government and they still vote. Like, like it's just preposterous. Everybody claims they're against something as they work with it, and then they claim you're only supposed to focus on one thing at a time. And the world's so confused. They're so stupid. Everybody is. It's a joke.
Yeah, here's another Leo Tolstoy. A man can live to be healthy without killing animals for food. Therefore, if he eats meat, and he participates in taking animal life merely for the sake of his appetite, and to act so is immoral. Like, like these. So those two clowns we watched in this video are like, they know more than these guys. Like these guys that we've learned so much from over millennia. Like Will Keller with his 900 viewers, 900 members, like he's more morally, he's morally superior to Leo Tolstoy, pure clownery. What are we looking
I
at?
just don't get how they're saying we talk shit about people. Of course we do. Fucking, we're literally better than those people we're talking shit about. Maybe they should like stop being morally like immature pieces of shit and harming animals, and we won't talk shit about them.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. We have the option every single day. Do I want to be a shitty person and do bad things? Or do I want to be morally superior? Do I want to be better than I was yesterday? When I was a meat eater, I was a piece of shit that supported animal abuse. Like I chose to be better than that. They have a problem with us talking shit about them. Maybe they should become better people. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's got to speak up for the voiceless.
Shit. They're talking shit. It's whack, bro. Whack? What year is this? Like, how old is this guy? Whack?
I don't know, but you better make a sound bite out of that shit. That was funny as hell.
You guys just taking a call and talking shit? No, we're holding you to a standard. Like, hello, a standard you should be at already. We're shocked you aren't here yet. That's why we're holding you to the standard. That's why we're trying to figure out what you're trying to do. Because you seem like an imposter. You're all over the place.
Humility is a powerful teacher, though. Like if we keep talking shit, they're eventually gonna get it. They're gonna be embarrassed with the fact that they're actually worse people than child molesters. They'll figure it out.
These clowns are trying to get famous, right? They haven't been famous before, so they don't know how to handle criticism yet. So they're used to having all these yes men around them. Oh, you're so great, Will. Your videos are so good. Oh my God. And then anyone says anything, they're just like, oh, they're jealous. Like you get this parade of you get this nonstop, like nonsense, illogical responses from them. And it's just like, what do you expect if you're not doing things right and you're screaming from the rooftops like you are, and the people that actually have done more work than you see that you're faking, and then you can't handle them calling you out. And so you double down on this shitty position, and that's a thing. It's like they think because they got 20 people watching them that they're famous, and they get this big head and this big ego, and it's just they can't handle anyone saying anything on the contrary. And all they can do is resort to temper tantrum, which is what we saw. The dude on the right seemed to hold it together a little bit better, but yeah, just pure clownery. I mean, both of them, just every word out of their mouth was just ridiculous, easy, debunkable. Like you're just like I would be embarrassed to make that kind of an argument for anything. Just like, oh, like we can't overwhelm ourselves. We got to focus on just like the easiest thing to like complain about government. Like, give me a break. Such a loser. After 10 years, like he's gray, so he must, if he's been a truther for a while, Like, you should know this by now. And the being mad at government thing is like, that's like the first year you wake up your eyes. You're mad at government for a little bit, then you realize, okay, no, it's mostly, like, we're mostly in anarchy. The government's mostly fake. It's just a reality TV show to distract us from the fact that we don't have any choice. So why why pay attention to it? And then some of us just don't get it, and they just like being an anarchist, and they like calling themselves these things, that they don't really understand, or they don't perform, they don't actually do in their lives. These fanarchists, fans of anarchy, they aren't actual anarchists. They aren't doing agorism. Like I said, they're trying to keep normal jobs, they're paying taxes, they're buying new cars. They're fakers. These people think because they're doing videos that they don't have to do anything in their real life. That's why we criticize Larkin Rose so much. So we know he doesn't do jack shit, for anarchy in his real life outside of just making these endlessly boring videos where he's going over the most elementary shit over and over and over again, which is what these clowns were doing before. Like, dude, we know all this stuff, and you're just trying to sound all cosmic and hippie. Like, it's like, dude, whatever you got to do to get chicks, man, like, whatever.
Oh no.
But I'm pretty tired after that. That was 3 hours. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Recently.
R.I.P. Dr. McDougall.
Oh yeah.
I know he was into big pharma shit, but he did a lot of good also. He passed away last week. He has a big part. My mom raised me on his protocols, and I have results. So like, I can only owe them. I only owe them to him and my mom, really. But he clock shot, so we can't really. Unfortunately, we can't. It's a bummer.
Not to go too into detail. I don't want to talk, ill of the dead. But what happened to the guy?
Well, he had a problem. He had a stroke when he was like a teenager, and he wasn't supposed to survive it. And so he already had body issues. But then he got the clot shot, unfortunately. And so, that probably didn't help his problems he already had. So he died at 77, which is not, we would have loved to have seen the guy turn 120, So it's pretty disappointing to lose him that early. But he had, they think he just had another stroke like he had before, or maybe a different one than he had before. But he had a problem already, and he was lucky to live as long as he did. But the clot shot definitely didn't help, I'm sure,
I mean, that was only like 3 years ago, and that's how long it takes usually. Makes sense.
Yeah, and they had him podcasting 10 days before he passed, looking fine.
Shitty. Yeah, I'd blame the shot for that. I mean, it could have been the stroke too, though. I mean, that'll take years off your life, and if you had that kind of problems at 18, Jesus.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Either way, I was shocked.
Those things together
Like,
didn't do him any favors.
What'd you say, Ellie?
Oh, just those. I'm sure those two. I mean, just those two factors
Pre-existing,
alone wasn't doing his body any favors. Like.
And he probably got all of them too, like all the boosters and all that stuff.
Shitty.
So, yeah, it's a bummer. Like,
sleep though.
Yeah, that's like a G, like you would want to, Yeah, but it's a bummer.
It's weird that movement of men are so awake on the vegan scale, but then you see them like promoting mainstream medicine, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Still caught up in academia, the mainstream academia world, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though they promote
these guys to be full
like,
truthers.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Getting the physicians committee to like turn over more naturopathic methods.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
dudes.
but
I'm gonna play the rest of. I'm gonna play the rest of this video and call it a night. This is Mark's last podcast, the last 10 minutes of his podcast. After
I'm dropping out, guys.
200, almost 300 episodes. Later, dude.
Have a good night, John Bob.
Boink. Oh, it's the wrong one. I'm trying to do it up here.
He's trying to do his like
And
wave
I
off.
just feel like I need a hiatus from this type of broadcasting because I don't feel it's best practices. Certainly not today when we have as resistant of a community as we do. And man, do we have a resistant community. I mean, my work went from being respected to completely rejected in this whole community. And to be quite honest, I don't really want any part of the so-called truth and freedom communities anymore. No more than I want any part of the alternative energy, the free energy communities, or any other group or system. The work that needs to be done is internal and singular. It needs to be done within our own minds and our own hearts. And that's the work that's not being done. And when people point the finger at me and tell me I haven't done it, you guys really need to fucking take a hard look at yourself and quite frankly, go fuck yourselves because you don't know the work that I did upon myself at all. And if you were doing any kind of real work upon yourself, I'd know who you are and you'd probably be on my network and I would know your name and I would know your work. Or you'd be making a dent in what's fucking going on. And there's nobody in any big social media influencing that's bringing anybody on that's talking about any of this kind of stuff. None whatsoever. Zero. They're all keeping losers. Because all you guys want is your mammon and your comfort. You want money and comfort. Money and comfort is not going to win you your freedom.
It's money
Challenging
and
people's
sex.
beliefs might help us win our freedom. Making people abandon bullshit religiosity and bullshit belief systems might help us win our freedom. Really learning technology.
What do you say, Braxton?
I said it's kind of funny because like that show with Will Keller was a while ago, but what Mark Passman is talking about now on his like last show is entirely relevant.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that long ago. It's been this last, like five episodes he's done, so the last couple of months, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird. Seems like we're all on the same page.
To communicate and publish our understanding of natural law and true morality might help us win our freedom. It's one of the components. But telling people some bullshit fucking version of spirituality is going to win us our freedom, no, that ain't going to get the job done. Telling people it's just about this here political candidate and he's going to get the job done, that's not going to get the job done. Telling people, oh, we need reform in the monetary system. We need, this new crypto, it's going to be the savior of humanity. No, it ain't going to be the savior of humanity. Oh my God, we got a new fuel cell. I mean, we just put one of these on every house. That's going to save humanity. No, you'll still have immoral fucking people trying to control everybody. Now, real morality is the only solution. Teaching it via creating media and publishing it out widely and freely is the only solution. That's it. You guys don't want to understand that because it shifts the responsibility away from an external party that you want to abdicate your power to, and it places responsibility firmly on your own shoulders. And you have to shoulder the weight, and you have to carry it, and you have to use your will to get that work done, and you don't want any part of that. That's the bottom line fucking reality that we are trapped.
Pussies.
And until you guys admit that you're wrong and you say the lost phrase of all power, I was wrong, and you say, it is my responsibility to teach the ignorant. It is my responsibility to learn natural law and objective morality, and then start creating media and teaching that to others. And until you accept that that is your absolute own burden and your own responsibility to shoulder and carry, nothing is going to change here. And that means you got to get better at understanding things. You have to get better at explaining things. You have to get better at learning technology and creating things with it. You're not going to get the job done with fucking ink and parchment. You're not going to get the job done with a fucking megaphone at some fucking protest. You're not going to get the job done going out for a beer with a fucking friend or fucking neighbor. It doesn't work like that. You have to employ the latest technology of the time period you are living in. You got to create and become a small c creator, like the big C creator, made in its image and likeness, and putting things out into the world that did not previously exist, that we ourselves create and bring forth into the world. That's how we express ourselves as small c creators. That's what needs to be done, ladies and gentlemen. And most of you people don't want to put any skin in the game. You don't want your name out there because you're cowards. You don't want your comfort level changed because you love fucking comfort and safety. You don't want to put any skin in the game. You got to activate your courage. You have to speak out publicly. You have to create something and put it out publicly. That's the problem, is that you guys aren't doing that because you're lazy and cowardly. We have to heal the gender divide and stop warring between man and woman. Stop fucking all the hatred of the opposite sex. Treat people with the respect you want to be treated with. Try to morally educate your fellow man and woman. The real thing that you got to be all asking yourself is, how much skin do you have in this game for human freedom? How much have you developed true spirituality and an understanding of what that really encompasses? How much are you learning and growing and utilizing your talents to really educate your fellow human being? How much skin have you put in the game? How many sacrifices have you made in the war for freedom? Have you learned how critical technology is in the war for freedom? Have you learned about the two political sides is all about political polarization? That's all it's ever been about. It's two sides of the same coin, and it's all Satanism. It's all control. It's all destruction of free will, which is the destruction of the human spirit and soul. And most of all, above everything else, the real thing that you guys got to ask yourself, the ultimate question that you have to ask yourself is, what the fuck have I done? I don't mean what has Mark Passio done. You got to look yourself in the mirror and you got to ask the all-important question, what the fuck have I done? What contribution have you brought forward from inside of yourself and put out there to the community as a whole for it to learn and grow and change in the service of human freedom? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and attention. This season of What on Earth is Happening during the Unholy Feminine extended presentation and the forced shadow work that we've done over these 6 months' time. I'll see you soon.
So yeah, clowns and fakers in our midst. They have to be, we have to self-regulate. You guys got to be held accountable. They can't just make excuses for being lazy.
Yeah, well, just being complacent and like being the exact opposite of everything that Mark Passio has been. I mean, the exact thing basically that Mark Passio has been.
Yeah, that's why it's been so funny.
Go ahead.
Like once I watched a whole episode, I was like, "Oh shit, we're complaining about the same stuff for years."
Yeah. And just seeing, I don't know, just like it really does have to be very disheartening just seeing that all the work that you've been doing, you see these promising, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like new content creators coming up, and like maybe they'll help me with this vision that I've had for, how I'm gonna like change the world. Like, and then that's that lackluster performance, that like not hitting the mark sort of standard. Like that's just, I don't know.
They're just making the faction, making their own faction of it. It's like these factions, all these anarcho factions. It's like none of them are anarchy. Like none of them are just simply like freedom, like in nature. So it's like everyone wants to make their own little flavor and alter it to fit their agenda. And these guys' agendas aren't to change. They don't want to even try and stop eating eggs and butter. Why do you need eggs and butter? If you're already almost there, just do it, pussy. Like,
because of their ancestral background.
oh,
and they can't.
Well, guess what? Your ancestors ate a lot more than just butter and eggs. So how about be consistent? But the real thing is that really bugs me is the feeding it to your kids thing. That's really scumbaggery. They have no choice.
You're affecting
and you
that
basically
generation.
force it down their throat. Yeah. You're indoctrinating the next generation into the death cult. Good job. Aren't you supposed to like focus on your kids and at least do right with your kids before you're trying to teach other people shit? Like fucking A, dude. You literally force shit down your kids' throats. They have no choice but to eat what you feed them.
Or you're forcing things down your kids' throats that you haven't thoroughly researched enough, and you're just allowing yourself to believe something about nutrition and spirituality and ancestral whatever, like you were saying, like, yeah, for yourself, all right, experiment away. But when you're talking about feeding kids, then it's or feeding any other being,
there's no informed consent.
are in the equation. Yeah, exactly. And then what, I know the other side would say, okay, well, the kids don't have a choice to not be vegan, right? So you're forcing veganism on them. But it's completely, again, you need to hold yourself to even higher, more rigorous standards when you're bringing another life into this realm. And so you need to study it more. Like, I'm sorry, bringing up the blood type diet and the ancestral stuff. I mean, where is some sort of evidence where some race of people do better on a certain diet? And we have the opposite. We show people across all races benefiting, all humans benefiting from a certain type of diet. Hint plant-based, but yeah, or at least largely plant-based. The majority is just it's immoral. You're walking the line of immorality and ignorance, like.
And the whole dose, I'm just gonna err on the side of eating animals. Like, I don't really know if it's moral or not, but I'm just gonna continue it where it's like the smart person would be, I don't know it's immoral, so I'm not gonna partake, and just err on the side of caution. But the feeding your kids, that's like the last. That's so gross. And like me and Allie, we didn't like meat when we were kids. I remember not like eating meat. I was raised vegetarian, and the first couple times I ate meat, I was like, "Fucking gross! What is this?"
No, I remember.
Yeah, no, I mean, oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Braxton. No, you go.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, I'm not a parent, so I can't really, like, I don't have that sort of like firsthand experience. I don't have that perspective. But I mean, I saw a video a while back that like really just kind of like made me think a little more about it. Like there's that one, I think it was like a little Italian kid, and his mom was like trying to have him eat, what was it? That one like octopus. I can't remember the name for it, but like was trying to get him to eat that, and like he didn't want to eat it, and she basically explained to him what it was, and as soon as he found out, he's like, "Why would we eat that?" And like he started getting sad, and like made his mom cry because how like wholesome and like heartbreaking the moment was, like when he realized it was being done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
Well, I think we should call it a night. I'm pretty tired. That was a lot of talking.
Yeah, I got a good episode in though. That was a lot of good conversations.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks to the viewers. Please like, subscribe. I know I never say that, but no one really is subscribing. Or like a lot of the people who watch the show aren't subscribed, which is stupid. Or it's just a bunch of carnists hating.
Even if you're a hater, subscribe. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Come on.
Join the
Bring
fun.
'em on.
Come on. It's fun. Come on.
Bring them on.
All right. Peace.
Peace.